fields of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
How about Sunny scam? I see Sunny fucking posting that fucking Anon coin scam every fucking week on that page.
I get fucking pissed the fuck off. Like, I fucking went and said something to him. Like, I was like, stop using our fucking name. Like, it's scamming people. Like,
he's so fucking stupid. He doesn't know that Anon coin has already been minted before, and it was done 10 years ago. It just never went anywhere. So, like, if that developer comes out of the woodwork...
they keep on running all these fucking scams.
Guys, I have to, I'm pulling this live soon. You guys have to, like, keep this off air, I think, unless you want to smear Sunny on air, which is fine with me, but... Yeah, no, so, okay, I have to give a double intro, right? Like... Yeah. Yeah, because we can't mix it with Anonymous, because like everyone will like drop out. Okay. Yeah, that's what they're going to say. Like, this is fucking Anonymous again.
I guess according to Andy, no, everybody's
Antifa
Antifa.
is, you know what? In my country and in the rest of Europe, let me tell you this, guys. Like Antifa in my country and in the rest of Europe, pretty much is the same word as cop now. It's just saying. Like it literally means cop. So if you say that, you just mean cop. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not different anymore. Like they've been beating on little old ladies and stuff. And mazing them and stuff, pepper spraying them. So yeah.
I saw a video of those guys fucking a few weeks ago just bashing in a fucking some random person's fucking socket on there for no reason.
Okay, I'm putting this live. Okay, welcome back everyone, Anonymous Bites back. I put in the title two things, hyperinflation and global revolution. Please help to share this around. I am personally not putting this to Twitter anymore. I am completely like boxed in some echo chamber, so if you guys want to share it on Twitter and other places, be my guest. So I'm pushing in the intro for the other channel. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I know how to get like a special double intro.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so welcome back everyone. So the live stream with different activists from around the world. In the title it says Global Revolution. We will discuss the different street protests around the world with you guys. So please stick around. All social media censors activism like this, and even discussing activism and discussing lockdowns, QR codes, vaccine passports, and all these things. So, but you know where to share it, right? You have other spots now on BitChute and whatever, and all these places. So just push it on there. You are also free to just download these episodes and share them, whatever. We don't really care. Don't make any money or whatever anyway, so just push it around.
Please.
Yeah, this hyperinflation is getting to the point where it's getting ridiculous. You know, it's going to be real bad where people can't buy a loaf of bread. It's going to cost them $30 anywhere in the world. You know,
It's insane. I mean, I talked to a friend yesterday. He's from Norway, and he said like his gas prices are now 3 times as high as last month. Pretty much insane.
yeah, it's like I saw a gallon of gas almost like I saw it like $6, and if cost of energy goes up, the price of everything goes up. Wages are. It's like, what is it? Panda Express for $25 an hour as a fucking entry worker. What the fuck? I really don't know what's in the future. I'm not saying they don't deserve the wage, but what I'm saying is, like, at the same time, you got to be thinking real hard about if you increase all the wages, like, you know, $5-10 in a fucking week, you know, everything else is going to go up that much more.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say too. I was just about to like cut in and say, like, here's the thing, like, if the prices of everything start rising for like wages, so the prices for food and like fast food and everything is going to go up too, because that's how they compensate, right? And like, I warned everybody fucking earlier this year and last year that we were going to go through a period of time where prices were going to inflate like we've never seen before in our lifetimes. But like the past generation saw with like the Great Depression, and that's where we're heading, is to that level of inflation where food and normal items are going to be priced exponentially, and the only people who are going to be able to live through this are people who have assets and have investments, and a lot of people don't have assets and investments in various different commodities and in crypto and whatever else. I mean, and crypto you can't even depend on fully, because we don't know whether or not we're going to follow the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin go up and then Bitcoin go blow off top and Bitcoin crash and go into a bear market. So it's a really interesting time, man.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like I'm fine, with how much I make, but people who are, getting by on minimum wage, I don't know how they're going to make it. I really don't.
They're not. Yeah. That's what I've been like screaming from the rooftops, is that there's a bigger divide that is coming that we haven't seen since the Great Depression. And that divide is going to be a transfer of wealth event, but it's going to also, anybody who isn't doesn't have some type of assets, they're not going to survive. Even if they're making like good money, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be rough, because the prices are going to go so far up, and things are going to become so expensive, and that's just the nature of what's happening. I mean, I don't know how anybody can argue with that now. I mean, we watched cans of soup go from $1 to, you said Progresso before we started the show. Progresso's like $6 and Campbell's is like $3. I mean, like, when do people realize what's happening? When soup is like $10?
Yeah, I was saying that, like a lot of this stuff, Biden's been blaming price gouging and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with the price of gas has not gone up because of fucking price gouging. It's because Biden wanted all of the American shit shut down, the fucking oil production, without building infrastructure that's 30 years away in the future. So we get to this point where we're like, Now we have to get our oil from OPEC, which is more because it's shipped overseas. Like, dude, like they did
Not
1,
even-
2, and 3,
not
and they
even
forgot
more
the middle part.
shipped overseas. It's more because they gouge the prices. OPEC gouges the prices, and they decide the prices. That's an alliance, basically, in oil that decides the price of oil. So when they're drilling oil and everything, the more oil that they're drilling, that's when the less the price is. But the less oil that they're drilling, they can charge whatever the hell they want.
This stupid
man.
shit on this infrastructure bill is a waste of fucking money. I was already talking to people, in the trucking industry, I think last week, and they're not going fucking. They're not going to go with these fucking electric vehicles. They're going to go full on fuel cell, hydrogen power. So like all of this money, this $1 trillion that they're spending on infrastructure to build charging stations is as far as work vehicles and transportation, it's all going to be done on fuel cells, not the shit that they're dumping the money into. It's almost like the government. It's kind of like Microsoft. You can give them $1 billion and they'll still build something shitty. It doesn't matter,
Well, yeah, but that's not even the major point. The major point in the infrastructure bill is they tried to introduce all these fucking taxes, new taxes for American citizens, and at the same time you're raising the prices of every fucking thing, and at the same time you're raising the prices of wages, which is going to raise the prices even more. This government is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I can't, man. I can't. They're so dumb. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to tax crypto, number one. And then number two, they're trying to sneak something in. And I don't see the American people putting up with it. Like, they want to tax us for every mile that we drive. Not just at the gas station, but they want to put a meter into our car that
What?
taxes on every fucking mile that we drive.
What if you're driving completely green? That
What?
that probably still
I don't
charge.
fucking know.
excuses. No excuses.
They just want to tax you, dude. But that's it.
Years ago they had this
implement all
too.
these-
Years ago they had this plan here too to tax you per mile, per kilometer
Yep.
here. They eventually refused that. They stopped that, but there was a huge
They
political.
rolled it
side.
out in the UK though.
Yeah.
It's in the bills now though. These car companies are going to be putting these trackers in starting in the next few years, and that's how they're going to get to you. It's coming because the trackers just got approved.
I guarantee you, as soon as they put that in, I'll figure out a way to fucking get it out. I'll figure out a way. Trust me, I'm one of those guys that messes around with hardware. Give me about a week.
I mean, someone will. People aren't gonna put up with that shit.
The
Yeah.
domestic hacker.
That's exactly what they'll do too, and it'll be a crime because it's related to government infrastructure. Do you see exactly where all this is going? If you think that the government didn't think you were slaves, wait till you see what they have planned for us, in the next couple of years.
I forget what my dad used to
Wait
tell
till
me
you
when I
read
was a
about the
kid.
Great Reset.
My dad used to tell me something weird about, there's probably something wrong with the economy when they start putting taxes on breathing air, I think they're a pretty good analogy, but I think that's what's going on now.
Well, they want to tax companies for using green credits or whatever. They want carbon credits for companies, and then they also want to introduce they call it a carbon tax for drivers driving their vehicles.
What about Class A's though? Class A's you're gonna be dumping a million miles.
Hey, breathalyzer stuff is going in too.
Yep,
They're
I
coming
heard that.
after you, man.
That's true. I heard about the breathalyzers will be standard onboarding, mainly. Yeah, there's a reason why for the breathalyzer. I understand that one, but at the same time, it's kind of an invasion of. You get this sense that when you buy a vehicle, it is not yours if that kind of technology is in there.
They're putting stuff.
Exactly.
They're going to put stuff in the steering wheel too, like these tactile sensors, so they can tell stuff about your skin chemistry and drugs and all kinds of stuff, man.
Well,
No, yeah,
or
yeah.
the cars are just gonna drive themselves.
No, they
That
are.
actually probably might not happen, and it has to do with not the technology won't be there. It legislation, the people making the laws might not allow that to happen. I mean, yeah, they're also
They're running tests. They've been
Yes.
running these tests all throughout San Francisco and California, like about driving driverless cars, and they've been doing this for years, and they've been causing accidents. And what they're saying is they're blaming the human drivers, and they're trying to push for getting rid of human drivers and only having autonomous vehicles. That's their plan. That's the plan from Silicon Valley. Another plan that they have is social credit score. They want to introduce the same thing that China has introduced, except they want to do it not for a purpose of what China is doing it for government points and stuff, but they want to do it for, say, for mortgages of houses and loans and...
Well, that's what they're actually also doing in China, though, with the whole financial
Yes,
part of it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But this is true, and they also want to do social media. What's it called? Reputation score. With the same within that same thing for the social credit score system of where you would be able to go get a loan or go get a mortgage or whatever, and then you would have to go through a social credit score thing where it would grade your social account, and like, it's fucking insane what they're doing, man.
Well, and with social media, it's going to have punitive effects as well once you factor in pre-crime to the whole thing, which Daniel Baker, since that, it's become kind of officially a reality we have to deal with now as well.
Well, yeah, pre-crime was set up under the DOJ, under...
I thought it was the DHS. Or
No, it's
they
DOJ.
came up with it.
No, the DOJ set up a pre-crime division under Trump, under what the fuck's that guy's name?
William Barr.
Bill Barr.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was his baby.
Yes, he's the one who set it up, and now Biden has pushed it as well. Are people fucking paying attention to what's happening? Because literally,
street crime is dangerous because then you start getting into thought crime, and
it's already there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. Daniel Baker,
DHS.
in early 2021, he made, I think it was a Facebook post, a Fedbook post that was like, "Oh man, I hope so-and-so protests here so we can show up and counter-protest." And then boom, he got arrested and put in jail because of that.
Well, that's fucking insane, because all you're doing is saying a protest. Like, well, what? Like, the fuck is wrong with, like, what?
This is the kind of society where the totalitarian rule is starting to become a reality, and the tools that people built to interconnect. I'm just saying that they're using the tools that we built against us.
Yeah.
It's not just like becoming a reality; it's becoming normalized. People agree to it, and they start following it, and that's where that's just the part that really scares me, because we on this show, we have been doing this for years and stuff. We've been talking about this shit. We always knew they were doing it behind the scenes, right? But now they're doing it in public, and they're normalizing it, and people are listening to it. They're following it. They're no longer, of course there are protests, but I mean, the masses they're becoming followers of it.
Well, yeah, but even before I was on the show, I was echoing that fucking same sentiment of, hey, look out, surveillance state coming. Surveillance state, this is what they're doing. I mean, years ago I wasn't as connected as I am now, but, I now see that, all these ideas coming out of Silicon Valley, and they're fucking insane. And somebody needs to put a brakes on them and say, look, you can't do this. Even if you think you can do it with tech, you can't do this. You're destroying society.
Somebody once told me the more things you make IoT, the more vulnerabilities you have. And there are things that shouldn't be connected to the internet, and there are things that are connected to the internet that shouldn't be connected. I don't like this whole.
Depends. You can run data meshes, and you can make things a little bit more secure than they are. And I mean, now with blockchain, and we have blockchain data meshes coming, and we have all this other technology that's great. Like, that's good technology. But again, tech is all how you use it. And I mean, like, I don't remember who said it, but you know, they're using the technology against us. Like, that's exactly what's fucking going on. And like the internet was great, right? Decentralized internet, when it first came out, everybody was able to connect with each other. Now they're starting to use it to silence our voices online. And because we use the services, they're like, oh, well, you're using the service, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. Because it's our service. And it's like, oh, man.
People are.
Well, we all
adapting
needed
to-
our socialism, though, right? I mean, we needed all our free stuff, and that's why we had to run our budgets and blow out the boiler. Well, now we got inflation. I mean, and I
Yeah.
can't really blame Biden because this was going on under Trump too. They were overspending crazy too.
Oh, Trump spent more money than any president. Like, I forget what it was. It was Trump spent more money than Barack Obama, Bush, and Clinton, I think.
Yeah, but
Like-
the part that upsets me more about Biden
right.
is that he has no answers to the inflation, and is blaming people for the problems. This is not. It happened under his watch, so it is his fault.
I mean,
I mean,
that's
doesn't
just like the
every
argument
president do that though?
Yeah, well, that's true too. But I was just gonna say, like, it's just like the argument of the VC. Like, people are dying after getting it, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you because you didn't take it earlier." Like, what? That it's causing fucking heart inflammation.
The fuck does that have to do with it?
No, it's just a poor metaphor, but yeah, it's just
I know.
it's blaming something else for it's blaming something else for a problem, and it's not taking responsibility. That was my main point of that. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, honestly.
Politicians are all part of the same little group of actors, and you're at this point. At this point, you have to realize that, like, we can't discuss left or right politics anymore. This is fucking 2021. Like, look at what's happening around you. Like, in here, it's like the lefties and the righties politicians working together and like fucking you over. Like, they're removing all your human rights at this point. Like, there isn't even anyone stopping it. People just be fighting in parliaments like they did in the 1930s and 1940s, but they don't.
There's very few people that are standing up for certain things, but then they're the most hated fucking people, like Ted Cruz. And I mean, he stood up.
Neocon piece of shit.
I agree. I fucking agree. But then he's standing up and saying that that we should have like equal rights, and we should have fucking how else did he say? Something about the internet. He said something about standing up for free speech. I mean, like, like it's like picking, like, I don't know how to, like,
Well,
when you play
because if you
politicians.
think about it, it's all about a show. Like, every politician is allowed their one issue that they can be slightly less shitty on. But at the end of the day, they're still public relations for all the corporations and lobbyists that are controlling them.
Yeah, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
like Ian Barber is saying in the chat. He says, and they shall blame their governments because we will tell them to. Right? The fact that we still
Yeah,
blame
but
our
Biden's one thing that he was passionate about screwed over a whole fucking country.
Yeah, but these are of course puppets. I mean, like, you're talking about people who are so powerful right now. They're in control of these governments, and like the second that we are focusing on the governments, we're doing what they want because they are the people
They're
who want
not
to
in
replace.
control of the governments. They're not in control of the governments. It's just a fucking puppet show. The people who are in control of the governments are the people that you never get to see. It's the bankers and it's the intelligence community.
And the
No.
lobbyists.
Yeah, and the people
And the
behind the Great Reset. Klaus Schwab is a fucking Nazi. His dad was Eugene Schwab. He like ran a factory with 3,600 slave laborers. I mean, the fact that that guy runs the Great Reset, that should already tell you like there is something really fucking wrong right now. And the fact that we are focusing on our governments exactly like they want, because they want to replace our governments with a global alternative. A great reset, right? And if we attack our governments, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but you're a horrible person because you're comparing him to a Nazi, and that you are saying that he's just like his father. So
But his
That
father
the
wasn't
man with
even.
the father who was literally named after eugenics, who ran a National Socialist model company during the
But
Nazi
he wasn't
period,
only just
then
in.
used that same company to help make illegal nukes for apartheid South Africa after being mentored by Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to say. That he was also informed. He was also involved in the apartheid situation in South Africa. There is an expert in dividing people. That's the thing. Like medically dividing people.
But the issue is that you're comparing him to a Nazi, and then now on social media, if you even use the Nazi symbol and say that it's a bad thing, you'll get your account locked because you used the symbol. Because you just used the symbol.
I know
Like,
that.
it's insane.
But you
It
have
is
the point is like you have to realize that these people who
What if
want.
the fucking Nazis? What if they rose? What if they rose again? What if
Yeah,
fucking
well,
Nazis
look.
rose?
These people, they want a global revolution. They want a great reset. They want to replace our governments with a new government. And what they want is for us to destroy our own governments, and they will replace it for us. That's what they're going to do. So we can't. We need to stop blaming our local governments. They're puppets.
Yeah, but the local governments are shitty. They should be, started over. I mean, you're in a real pickle because that's what needs to happen. And yeah, they're going to use it against you. But what other choice do you have?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, but you need to provide the alternative to that, because their alternative is going to be way worse than our local government. That's like replacing the Afghan government with ISIS.
Nobody realizes what's actually fucking going on, though. Nobody gets it. Nobody, nobody realizes that, yes, they are there waiting for the governments to collapse and come in and swoop and say, we're here to save you. And their saving plan is not for saving you. It's to further enslave you more than we've ever been with our current situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They will replace our government with ISIS. Simple. Their new global ISIS, right? It's not going to be better because that's what they do. Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be beheading people for offenses. I mean, maybe, but
I think they prefer the soft kills.
I can certainly say that they're going to evolve the surveillance state and evolve what is that? The transhumanism agenda. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be cutting our heads off, but what they want to replace our governments with is not good. I'll tell you that. It's
idol worshippers will have their heads chopped off. All idol worshippers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, we're already kind of like halfway there to having ISIS as a governing body because, hey, you can't spell Islamic State without CIA, so.
But
Yeah. I just think Alamo isn't wrong though, because all the other religions will be destroyed. That's a fact, of course, but that's how it's said in that Revelation stuff. And yeah, I'm not religious, right? But I do know that there's some people in power who are kinda religious in their own way.
But you don't have to be fucking religious. If they're religious and their plan is to follow the Bible exactly, there's your issue.
Mm-hmm. Everyone will get the mark.
Yeah.
If you don't take the mark, you can't buy or sell. Simple.
Why does a temple cult, an apocalyptic messianic temple cult, get to run everything and run the world? I mean, that's not very smart,
Well,
Seems like somebody else should be in charge.
you get either get the jab in your hand or you get that whole like swab thing in your forehead. If not, you can't buy or sell, right? Like this is pretty much
Yeah, I think
Revelations
that-
as it is.
Yeah, the whole religious outlook there plays right into the hands of all these shitbags. It's like, oh, you want to be treated badly? You think that's that's a good thing? Okay, we can do that for you. Yeah, sure. Because yeah, and then what are you going to have? I mean, they haven't thought this out really good.
Now, okay, so just look at because people are listening and they think like, wow, everything is so lost and stuff. It actually is not. Like, I've been there was an actual like a Telegram chat. I mean, a Telegram chat. An actual FAT came in, like Dutch intelligence came in, right? And was like trolling people and stuff, and it was obviously was intelligence. And then I said like, well, the only reason your establishment in this country still exists is because the people are still calm and are allowing it. And I was on a secure connection, right? So I said like, well, your country here, you pretty much are built on two major fibers in this country. I'm surprised no one still cut it. And this guy instantly like jumped out at everything. I think he screenshotted everything. But the fact is, my point was like, actually these establishments are super weak, but the people don't realize that they have the power. Like, we're talking about a government, even in Washington, that has maybe an armed guard of a few thousand. But if the people really want it, they could march with 50 million to the city and take it all out. Like, I'm not talking even about 1 million people. I'm talking about 50 million. If you have that amount of people in your country who don't agree with this whole social credit score system, you could march to it and you could just take it out. It takes less than 2-3 days, and you have your entire government replaced with the people's government. So that's the thing.
An American Spring. An American Spring. That's what needs to happen. I've heard some talk of that.
Yeah,
If they jack around too much longer with these mandates and lockdowns, they're going to get it.
Well, but I'm pretty sure that an American Spring will happen if usually the people this divide between poverty and just getting by is getting that much more diverse. I guarantee you, it'll be the people on the bottom that will start it.
Well, what they're pushing for is getting rid of the middle class and making the middle class poor, and only having a rich class. That's it.
Basically.
Well, in 2011, we had Occupy, right? Shortly before that, we had the Arab Spring, right? And I've been talking to people. Like we were like involved with Occupy in 2011, and saying like, I can guarantee you guys, we will have a European Spring in February, right? If this continues like this, and it is not going to stop, there will be a revolution, a people's revolution, and because the weather is getting better then, and people will be able to go into the streets. Many will have lost their jobs because they will be forced to be faxed or whatever to have their jobs, and you will have so many people already to like march into the streets. I don't think they considered this at all, these people in power, because they make people lose their jobs. They have spare time. You make them all dependent on like whatever welfare thing you have, but they will have time to march in the streets, and they will be angry, losing all their rights, and the weather will be getting better. This is like 2.5 months or 3 months from now. And I think you will have such a major revolution, and unless they manage to hijack this, and this will be their thing to introduce their whole global government, we have an opportunity to put in people's governments. I think it will happen. You have an American Spring, a European Spring, right? Kind of like OWS, like Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, but the thing is, like you guys missed is too, is that all those movements mostly were cooed in some type of way. They came in and they made sure that they would be able to monitor everything that was going on with those. And in some essence, with Occupy Wall Street, they made sure that they could come in and lead everything that was going on to make sure it never got too out of hand.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, how closely tied was that effort to, like, say, the Democratic Party, or anybody that was, kind of running that? Typically what you see is if a protest gets too far out of line, whichever side it is, they'll make some effort politically to rein it in and get control of it. Like BLM or all the rest of it.
Sorry, dead air. I had to say it.
Yeah, I just think people need to realize what kind of power they have. And with BLM, yeah, BLM, I think even though it was like fully like co-opted and stuff from above, you could see that there were like, you could say like 99.9% were legitimate protesters, right? They don't know if it's compromise or not. They just go into the street, and you see.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. It's not the protesters; it's the organizers. And I always say this, and people are always like, "Oh, you're so fucking stupid. You think they're paying all those protesters?" No, I don't think they're paying all those protesters.
No.
I think the organizers are the ones getting paid.
No, it's legitimate protesters, of course. You need
They're
legitimate
just
protesters.
co-opting the emotions of like legit protesters, and then you insert a couple of instigators and shit pops off.
Well, I didn't mean instigators. I meant actual like lobbyist groups.
Yeah, like co-opted.
Some of these protests. Yeah.
Yeah, but like in terms of the actual phenomena of paid protesters, like the share of genuine protesters to like actual feds or instigators or undercover is genuinely pretty large. So.
Well, no, but that's not what I'm saying. That the organizers are the ones that get paid.
Yeah.
To organize those protests. That's what I'm saying. Those are the one. That's what people always miss. Is like, oh, George Soros paid for BLM. No, he paid for the organizers to organize some of those protests for BLM. And I mean, you can argue that's a good thing, right? Okay, good thing. But the goal of that, of him paying for that, is not a good thing. His goal literally said to Podesta in the emails that he wanted to destabilize the U.S. Like, it's literally fucking there. Like, people, holy fuck, man. These elitists don't give a fuck about the politics. They don't care about anything more than getting a goal in the end, and that goal in the end is not going to benefit you.
Keep in mind, they also run the media behind it, right? So you have millions of protesters in the streets, then they will pay for their shield or whatever to appear on the media, and that person will then say, yeah, all these millions of people, they believe this. And then he will like explain his own story, right? And that will be the controlled story.
That's astroturfing a narrative, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what goes on. And they buy out the media, they buy out organizers who then look for protesters for events or organize the protest, and they don't disclose that they're paid by X, Y, Z. I mean, like with Antifa, there was several organizers that were paid to organize Antifa protests, and the
and
protesters
even then,
had
that's
no
still a
fucking idea.
minority, though.
But my main point is that the protesters don't fucking know. They don't know that they're being fucking hoodwinked, like, because they're there for the cause, right? So they're there for the cause, and the organizers aren't there for the cause. They might be there for the cause a little bit, right? But really, they're there because they're getting fucking paid to organize those events.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged
and
sword.
also like, how many media outlets showed like Black Lives Matter New York marching with freaking the anti-mandate crowd there in those protests?
They'll show that. Never show that.
Nope, they would never show that, bro.
They'll
I was
never show
fucking
that.
gassed when I saw that shit, dog.
That wasn't a fucking organized rally then, because
What about disrupt the whole disrupt J20 shit? Do you remember that? The whole fucking, remember the limousine burning shit? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And also, like, if you
Somebody I
remember,
knew,
there was
somebody I knew
documents.
got fucking. Remember that whole case with the Trump administration? Like, I remember I knew somebody who like managed the servers for that whole or thing and got they were threatening a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, they try to go after the people that were hosting anything on the internet about that.
All the surveillance cameras for J20 got hacked. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that.
Orange man bad.
I mean, he is, but here's the thing: like, they're using that to further divide the country, and at the same time, they're putting us against each other as compared to caring about the people in power. So it's just us fighting each other, and it's like,
I mean, it's like the thing, like it was the whole like fuck Donald Trump, like it was that, and then now it's let's go Brandon, and it's like, hey, you know what? Why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos? Like,
you think many on the right actually realize by now that Trump was just a puppet?
They're all
You think many
puppets.
on the right
I
realize that?
like to think
don't.
so, but then I see like all the merch stands that say like Trump 2024 or like Trump DeSantis 2024, and I'm like, no, please, no, we can't do this again.
I'd rather have a Labrador Retriever as a president than Trump. I'm sorry.
I'd rather have a Labrador Retriever as president than any president.
Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, at least he'll obey sometimes.
He
But you
would
got
be so
you got Buck
cute.
Fiden. Buck Fiden's in there, man.
I knew it was bad when I saw a strain of weed called Sleepy OG. With his picture on it, and it said like what year is it? Yeah, there was like an actual strain of like weed at the fucking weed shop I saw. It was called Sleepy
That
OG.
is so
Do
funny,
you like
dude.
smoke it and then go to jail for smoking it? Cause
No, it even had a picture of Biden on it, and it said what year is it?
That's funny, but that would definitely make me not want to buy the weed just because there's a picture of Biden on it. Like, fuck no.
It was funny.
I'd be worried that it was fucking poisoned.
Oh yeah.
Make me want to like smell young people's hair.
I don't think weed has ever made me do that.
Weed definitely never made me do that either. But I mean, we're talking about Biden weed, so.
Biden weed.
I mean, I'd be worried that if I smoked it, I would end up in a room in Thailand.
You gotta
I won't
smoke that
I
smoke,
won't
though.
do that.
you'll get
That's
a
shot.
sudden craving. You'll get a sudden craving for ice cream and pizza.
Smoke crack like Hunter Biden.
Yes. Yeah, smoke crack. Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's what I would be worried about. That I would just end up in Thailand, and
It wasn't crack. It was Parmesan cheese crumbs, guys.
Yeah, we're smoking cheese
I have the
now.
video. I disagree.
Oh wait, isn't cheese nicknamed for meth? So like technically he's still doing drugs. So
Hey, these guys do much worse
There's
shit.
this thing, like,
They do much worse
Go
shit
ahead.
in Thailand, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. I have all the evidence.
Well, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's one of the Thailand sayings. Man. It's up to you. It's up to you, man. I mean,
hey, she told me she was a man before.
Oh my god.
Hey, they got a
Right.
market for everything down there. I swear to God. No, they have sexcations are a real thing in Thailand.
Yeah, it gets to be a problem though in places like the Caribbean and Haiti, especially when you have like sex tourism that contributes to like pedophilia and sex trafficking.
You think? Is that by design, though?
It's the same everywhere, by the way. It was just in France. It just came out that like over 300,000 kids or something over the years have been like abused by the Catholic Church in France.
Yeah, but that's only the Catholic Church. That's not the fucking high-end elite pedophiles that ask these we'll call them kidnappers. So the kidnappers to go out and find a boy or a girl and give them a picture of the person. I like these people like go out on the streets, take pictures. Like if you ever see like an older guy or a younger guy taking pictures of a kid, run, because they take these pictures and they go to these elite pedophiles and show them pictures, and then they say, "Oh, I want that one," and then they kidnap the kids.
Yeah. Yep. And then like certain gangs like in the United States do the work for them, like the Mendinos. Yeah. There's just a shooting at the Lake of the Ozarks over that very shit just like a few months ago, actually, because they keep trying to like come in and take territory, and the other local biker gangs are like, not having it. So it's crazy shit.
I mean, I don't want to say to arm yourself, but
Fuck that, I do.
please, I know, but we're on like YouTube. I'm trying to be PG here, but like,
Oh yeah, I
realistically-
forgot we're on
realistically,
YouTube.
Like, come on,
Oh,
like,
the
defend
booktube.
yourself, please. Defend
It's not
yourself,
YouTube
please,
anymore.
guys.
It's like calling Facebook. You can't call Facebook. You gotta call it Fedbook, and you can't call YouTube because it has nothing to do with you or users anymore. It's all censorship. So I don't know what exactly to call.
Yeah,
FedTube.
it does suck, like pretty
That's-
hardcore.
Called Your Matrix. That's then you'll be really getting what's going on. It's Your Matrix. Yeah.
Hey, so what are valid alternatives to YouTube, guys?
Library, Rockfin, Odyssey, BitChute, Unbanned.
Oh, she's faster than me.
I'm sure I left a few out.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm a noob. Don't kid yourself.
Any fucking thing that isn't YouTube.
I like
Is that good?
TreeSpeak. I like TreeSpeak and the Hive network. It's pretty great.
Oh yeah, see, I knew I was leaving some out.
Three Speak is good. I know Dan over there, and I'll be working with him on some things. Yeah, Three Speak is good. I don't have a problem with Three Speak. There's BitChute. It's good. Odyssey / library, but Odyssey library. There's the issue of the SEC that's basically looming on them. Don't know how that's gonna go.
F the FCC.
Yeah, okay, well, TreeSpeak and Hive, they have like this blockchain solution, right? And that is, yeah, it's pretty much uncensored. Like, you can get voted down, and like some people can't see you because you have like too many downvotes or something, but your content is still there. It can't be removed. They don't remove shit. So I say, like, people, if you're listening, you should probably check out hive.blog. It's a pretty legitimate website.
3speak.tv is 3speak. Last I checked, unless they moved the domain.
No, it works.
Way to go.
Yeah, and BitChute has. Are they censoring anything? BitChute? I don't know, because.
I don't go there very often, really. I kind of abandoned it at the same time.
I don't go there because half the videos don't work.
Alamo knows
it's
it.
just-
Alamo knows.
Yeah, they got rid of like all the National Socialist and Nazi group. There's still a few on there, but not many. They did that a year or two ago. And then there's certain God, what was I looking for the other day? It was some Mark Dice videos of all things, and there's a certain amount like of search engine filtering that's going on there now. It's certainly not as bad as YouTube, but it's starting.
I like Mark Dice. He's such a rude asshole, and he's such a big grifter. It's funny to watch his stuff.
Yeah, his stuff is funny. I don't know. I noticed a month ago some stuff missing off the Wayback Machine, and I was like, "What the f?"
Yeah. Memory hole.
Like, the guy
There is
is
no true Wayback Machine.
like he looks so much like a grifter. He's like not hiding it. I mean, like, you can clearly see.
Yeah, on the
he's-
Wayback Machine. Get that website back. That'd be golden.
He's not. Well, you can see like he's not doing it for like any government or something. He's just doing it for himself. Makes him actually look more legit than you would expect. That's the thing.
Well, he's a communications major. I mean, he's kind of. I mean, he found his, if you want to call it his grift there, which that's what YouTube is in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
found his message. But yeah, he's got that. Let's just say this: he has his political group figured out there, and was at the San Diego Pier. Yeah, he knows where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this about YouTube. Does anybody here remember Filthy Frank? Anybody?
Yeah, one of the
Okay.
first YouTubers, yeah.
Filthy Frank was one of the first YouTube stars, right? I mean, it's debatable, but he probably is. And if Filthy Frank went back to YouTube right now, what do you think would happen to all of his videos?
Oh, he would be fucking gone.
He did.
Exactly. YouTube is not what it was before.
So is Bo Burnham. Remember his songs, man?
Yeah.
Bo Burnham. Like, his songs, like, were fucking controversial, right? And YouTube, back then, was promoting him as one of their biggest creators. They wouldn't do that today, and it's sad. It really is. Because they have, like, this... we have to be politically correct on everything. Because we're a company.
And see, that's such bullshit. That's one of many billions of reasons that they're like destroying the fucking internet, and they're all just, affiliates and co-workers of the surveillance state at the end of the day. I mean, they stay in the freaking congressional and Senate hearings lying to us in real time, and it's just all a TV show. Now, I'll give it that the theater's been rather good lately. Cruz and Holly and a few other have been, grilling them, but they're not going to do anything to them, just like Hillary Clinton. Like, I don't know. I'm sick of it, guys.
No, but that's all planned. It's like
part of the plan, but not the Q psyop.
No. But it's like, okay, so this is what Lenin said, right? Lenin said the best way to defeat your opposition is to lead it yourself. So people in power create their own opposition, right? And there's certain figures in politics who are playing the dissident side. It's like, I said this early on with Bernie Sanders and Tulsi and stuff. I said, like, these people, well, they're still they're part of the same party. They just play the Mac salad instead of the burgers, right? They're a different product, but they're with the same company. And if you start falling for that shit, no, they are doing exactly how Lenin has educated them.
I disagree with Tulsi, though, because she started having a kind of self-realization of everything that was going on when she started reading that JFK book. And,
yeah, but if she was really if she was really a threat, she would be dead, right? You know that.
Yeah, but she just might not, she's not making enough waves or whatever yet. I don't know. I'm not caught with her too much.
Out of her, though. That's what I'm saying. They censored the fuck out of her. They made sure that she was not able to get press, right?
Right.
And they attacked her constantly with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton constantly attacked Tulsi. Okay? I don't think that would have happened if she was not a good actor, so to speak.
She's the only one who spoke up for Julian Assange, to my knowledge, here.
She's a CFR member.
She's a CFR member, and I saw her on Joe Rogan saying America should attack Iran if Iran attacked.
Yeah, I saw that too when you said that. Yeah, but besides that, I mean, she seemed like she had her head on straight.
Well, she at least seems to, give. She's a Democrat that seems to care about her country. I mean, she did serve in the military and all, and she's at least oriented that way because, the lefty left doesn't really seem to care. They're in burn down mode. We want all this change when we have nothing to, no fossil fuels, but we got nothing to replace it with. They're just going full bore.
Right, it's all terrible. I mean, I'll see.
Military. And she's still in the military. She recently did a tour, a very conveniently timed and placed tour, and the Horn of Africa doing some special operations. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, well, to be like on the mill, maybe. Okay, so if I still believed in politics, he would probably be like the best choice in that sense. But I just don't believe in it anymore. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
she-
like
She's
Go
a
ahead, Alan.
neoliberal that can get along with the neocons. You know, they're all wound up in the global strategy, military, and I mean, that's what I see her grooming her for. You know, which is, you know, she'd be like a typical American president. Honestly, I mean,
I'm voting for no for presidents ever if I had a vote, or I mean, I guess I just got my voting rights back, but I'm still not gonna fucking vote. But I will take opportunities to meet with representatives for shit that I fucking believe should not happen where I live, because that's what we should all be doing, I think. But it's just.
I think people
will
are too. I think people are
write
too
your
focused
name
on.
in. I will write in your name on my ballot for 1 Bitcoin.
Sweet.
No,
I
I'm
said
probably not.
I said I'll write your name in my ballot for 1 Bitcoin.
You have a Bitcoin? Yeah.
No, I would
You're my
vote for
friend.
Mad Mom over any of these people, definitely.
Don't vote for Mad Mom. We don't vote. We have conversations.
Okay.
And sometimes we disagree, and that's okay.
see, Tulsi's like a Hillary. She takes her marching orders from the CFR. That's the same thing Hillary said.
All right.
She you know, Hillary said it, but hey, she was a member too. So is Tulsi. Now Tulsi doesn't say that, but she's in the same mold.
Well, she was a member of the
Big
CFR, but yeah, I agree with you that that's sketchy as fuck, but she was a member of the CFR because she was the head of the was it Armed Service Committee? I forget what it was, but
Well, and
yeah.
she was also in that Young Leaders thing from the WEF that had like Dan Crenshaw beside her of all people, whose head is so far up Israel's ass. We found
And Bill
out.
Gates. Bill Gates was also a young.
I just barfed in my mouth with that.
Wow,
Just
that's disgusting. The one-eyed traitor, the one-eyed Texas traitor. Yeah.
That's sad.
He's a rhino if there ever was, man. That's a Texas rhino for you. And we got a lot of them.
dead air.
Yeah.
I just think at some point, like, yeah, you just have to like kind of lose your trust in these politicians. Kind of like you lose your trust in these judges too. Like you still have like this legal system, and then you have these judges sitting there, and you think like, oh, maybe I get a good judge who is like rightful or whatever. And then you see like behind the scenes they're already paid by Monsanto or whatever, or Bill Gates. But you still hope that you get a good judge, but they're all still part of the same little
connected to
crowd.
Chevron and
Yeah.
going after the fucking lawyer that went after Chevron for their oil spill in
Yeah, Steven
Ecuador,
Donziger. Yeah, right.
aka Steven Donziger. Fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you see, and I'm from a smaller country, right? Where the scene is like very small. Here in the Netherlands, the scene is so small that the judges are like dining with like the big lawyers, right? And that the big lawyers,
That happens here too.
yeah, I mean, like the big lawyers here as a hobby.
It's everywhere.
Sometimes they play
It should
judge.
be illegal.
Yeah, but
It should be
it,
fucking illegal.
but it's not illegal here. Like no, it's allowed. It's allowed here.
Well, in the
It should
Netherlands,
be
yeah.
illegal. It should be illegal for a lawyer to meet a judge in a dinner or a lunch, because they're discussing the fucking case.
It happens all the time, dude.
Dude, they sell tickets for dinners all the time, like campaign. What? Oh, yeah.
With lawyer.
But
Did I
if
once
I,
had a case with
Guys, let's try to
lawyer-
speak one by one. Let's
I will
speak one by
get
one.
bribery.
It gets like super annoying for listeners. I think to speak one by one, please.
Okay, so I just want to quickly say that, but if I personally get in trouble and I go to a judge and try to bribe the judge, I will get bribery. But if a lawyer does it for me, it's okay.
Yeah. He's like the big lawyers here as like a side job. They even like play judges, right? Their judges is a side job.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes they have meetings, they have dinners and stuff, and they already discuss the outcome of a case. Yeah. It's like they're arguing or something during a dinner, saying like make this deal or something.
Yup.
Yeah, it's weird. It actually happens.
It's so fucking insane, man.
They're all in it. It's like, I think there was some report of like on a. We were talking about political parties before in other countries, but in Canada, they took like a review of like the 8 or 10 top political parties, and all of them are for these lockdowns and mandates. It's like, there is no opposition, even in opposition, so-called opposition parties. It's like globally there's this trend towards everybody's in line on this. It's the Great Reset, right?
I was gonna say it's not a reset if it looks like this. This is a shit show.
Yeah, they're resetting it for the little guy. The big guys, hey, they're looking good, man. There is no reset for me. I mean, they're putting on their new, Star Trek outfits and telling you about the Great Reset and all this shit, and already announcing that they're your new leaders. So they're on board. They know what they're doing. Prince Charles, the rest of them. Climate lockdowns. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny is, like, you have that QR code system here, right? And everyone has to take the mark, or you can't do anything anymore. Now I saw, like, in the media, some news article, it said, well, government wants to decide if you can go to a fast food restaurant or not. Like, if you're too chubby, you can't.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
They will limit your fast food restaurant visits because you're too fat.
You're too fucking fat for fast food. Sorry, denied.
Yeah.
These fast food chains are going to be hurting, man.
I just seriously had like in my head like some morbidly obese guy at McDonald's beating in the fucking kiosk. I just
Oh my
seriously,
god, it'll be
that's
like
what
that
ran through my head
episode
when
of the
you said that.
Boondocks. That episode of the Boondocks with the fried chicken flu where everybody's trying to like beat the door down.
They're not
Damn, I
loving
don't
it
know
anymore.
how many of y'all watch the Boondocks though. That's a great show.
In the chat they're saying they already do that here in Canada. Is that true? Is anyone here from Canada? I don't know. That is already happening in Canada, that they can decide like how fast you can go to like a fast food restaurant and stuff. Because that is what they actually are planning to do here. Like, all these people are taking this weird QR code mark and that scans them when they enter the fast food restaurant, right? So the government knows they're entering a McDonald's or whatever. And then if you're too fat or whatever and you go too often to a McDonald's, they will limit that, right? Or you will lose your QR code or whatever. It's like, this is actually going to happen, right?
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, it's a way to like legalize fat shaming. It was bad when we wanted to do it, when we were like, fat shaming on our own. But now that the government's on board, going to tax you and tell you what to do and everything, they're all for it. You're too fucking fat.
Fat tax?
Oh no.
You're fat, so you get taxed more. Oh shit, man. I know I'm making fucking jokes, but fuck, I literally can imagine them saying, "Look, guys, we got an epidemic of fat people, and we're gonna have to do something about this." So,
Well, I mean, it's like when
we're gonna tax you.
it's like when people were talking about the asshole scanning toilets, like.
Oh god, that's gonna be disturbing.
Is that a real thing too?
Well, no, what did you say? Assholes scanning toilets?
Yes.
Now they already do that on a mass basis, like on some of these universities. They can tell you how many people are on drugs roughly.
Oh yeah, they do
neighborhoods
that.
get that.
Seriously?
Yeah, the water treatment facilities do monitor what's in the sewage that goes through. So yeah, they do monitor drug use that way on particular areas. That's how the DEA knows where there's drugs. Things you just never think about,
Well, that's one of the ways.
They've been checking your butt for a long time, Mark, and you didn't know it.
No, I didn't.
Sorry, all that potassium nitrate wasn't my idea. I'm sorry.
What, did you guys see Shitcoin? And it's literally you get paid for using the toilet?
Oh god, that's almost as hilarious. Do you remember Bit Degree? Those guys from that college that tried to start a fucking cryptocurrency fucking college and it never went anywhere. It was just a fucking
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. That's why I never got into any more learning type projects, because I was just like, I don't really see a need for a crypto in the learning environment. I mean, if somebody can fucking prove me wrong, do it, right? But I don't see a need for it.
Me either. Yeah, me either. I don't see a need for it.
Like, what are we gonna pay students to fucking study?
That would be amazing.
I am
it's never gonna
fucking
happen.
down.
Well, aren't they paying gangbangers not to gangbang in like LA and the big cities? You know, it's all inverted. Yeah.
we should pay the aliens not to invade us. That's what we should do.
Go back to Mars, guys. Okay.
Go back to the dark side of the moon. We won't come there. We promise.
Can you just not aliens right now?
What, nod aliens?
Oh no!
Like,
welcome to 2022.
Oh, nod. They said nod. Yeah, welcome to 2022, where everything's all fucked up. All, courtesy of your government.
I wanted my socialism, and I got tyranny. What happened, man?
I don't know, man. We didn't try hard enough.
But socialism would have worked if it was the right socialism and it wasn't tyranny, Alamo.
Yeah, I just wanted my republic, and I got socialism, man. What happened? You know?
Someone says they can tell COVID is spreading by sampling the poop. I did hear that, like some in the news, like
Yes.
Yeah.
they were actually claiming that that COVID was like, spreading through the sewers and stuff too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was spreading early on in South Korea. There was a huge. This is like early, beginning of the whole thing, and there was a apartment complex, and everybody in the apartment complex got infected, and they were trying to figure out how, and they figured out that it was through the sewage and through the air ventilation vents. So, yeah, it does.
Fecal oral is kind of common for a lot of diseases, but maybe COVID too. I just never haven't heard of it, but it probably does happen. Yeah. And fecal oral is how you get a lot of diseases are spread.
I just can't hear that entire word COVID anymore. It pisses me off.
Me neither. I'm sick of it. Yeah.
But, I mean, it has the word ID in it.
You're right.
I know.
I have many ideas.
Oh, no, I said ID, not ideas. ID.
ID 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, how do you guys think the world looks like in 2030?
Burn to the ground.
Mad Max.
Are we going to be alive in 2030, guys? Are we going to be alive, or are we going to be in a re-education camp? How is it going to be?
Now in 2030, you need a Geiger counter just to go outside.
In 2030, I'm gonna be on my own fucking private island, watching the whole entire fucking thing burn.
Sounds better than old camp thing.
Can we come through, AK? Like,
Oh yeah. That's fine. I fucking island. I don't need a whole fucking island. You want to live on the fucking south side, or the east side, west side? Go for it. It'll be better than fucking living in goddamn cities. Yeah.
So none of the above. Mara says in 2030 China will run the world. I think it's pretty much already China running the world.
I think China just surpassed the U.S. in the most rich people.
Where?
Yes, we hear you.
Could be, yeah.
Over.
Well, the economies are roughly the same size. Electricity production, that crossed years ago, but...
No, I mean, on a serious note, I think technology is going to evolve very fast, and I think our infrastructure is going to take on some artificial intelligence and some good technologies. I mean, I'm not saying artificial intelligence is a bad technology. It's a good technology. It just depends on what you use it for. And I believe that smart cities are going to come, and some of them are going to be made right, and some of them are going to be total fucking dystopias. But it's inevitable. I think smart cities are inevitable. I think blockchain technology is inevitable. Artificial intelligence inevitable. There's other types of technology as well, like the stars. What is star satellite? I forget what the hell they're called. But basically, providing internet to the whole entire world, which gets rid of the need for 5G. So I'm fine with that. And that's a lot better for the environment. You know, people bitch about the fucking environment, and they have 5G towers and never say anything about them. And they just say, oh, well, if you say something about 5G, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, idiot. There's fucking tests where it shows that they do damage to animals and birds and fucking insects.
Thank you. My God.
I just feel so, like, it just pisses me off.
Well,
you're like talking about the planet. You're saying about the planet, saving the planet, and then saying 5G is okay. Are you stupid?
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's like everybody, because the stupid theory came out that was like, oh, 5G is causing the coronavirus. No, we're just saying don't put any living thing next to a 5G tower, because it's bad for the fucking environment. Okay?
Well, it's not just bad for the environment, it's bad for species and everything else. But, yeah, I agree. Fucking Ike pushing that bullshit, man. Yeah. He got some good clicks for that one.
Well, people need their porn streamed on their mobile devices at 1080p, man. I mean, you know, you need some bandwidth.
Hey, I need my porn fast, and I need it now.
That's the mindset. I mean, you know, these are our customers, you know. Give them what they want. Fuck it, man. I mean, you know, what do you do?
That's all the internet is for porn. Duh. Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you were a big company and you know, the sheep wanted high-speed streaming porn, you'd give it to them. You know, why not? Costing them money.
Oh, my God, man.
Well, you have to give them porn because I mean, look, we're taking everything else away from them. We're hyperinflating the prices. They can't afford anything. You know, if we give them cheap porn, maybe they won't burn things down for an extra 10 or 15 years. You know, we buy ourselves that much time.
They're literally turning it into Brave New World. Then.
Yeah. Just get in the mindset of a shitbag politician. You know, it's like, what can we really do to abuse the people and not have them kill us? You know, that's about where they want to go to. They don't want to actually, they don't actually get hung in the streets like they should be, but you know, they want to push the limit just to see what they can get away with. You know, and you know, be damned with the Constitution or legalities. You know, we have emergency orders and mandates now. You know, we're here and we're in charge. Let's all. Hey, isn't there an oath or something we should be taking to Klaus Schwab? Are they working on that over there, Mark? You know, the new Klaus Schwab anthem. You know, we're getting rid of the EU. obviously.
Heil Schwab? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Schwab's daughter is also like super big in that whole planning thing. You know that.
I mean, hey, when you got that balls that big and that much money, and you say you're the new leader now, I've decided I'm the new leader. I mean, that's breathtaking, man. It's a great time to be alive.
Yeah.
In a sick, twisted way.
Yeah, well, it's either going to happen or not, right? Either we're going into this full dystopia, or people are like going to hang on these people in the streets. It's like, yeah. I'm giving it 50-50.
That's your two choices.
Yeah.
They're pushing you to those two choices.
I'm surprised people have been staying this calm for so long already. Not advocating for anything, but I'm surprised by it. It's like because they're targeting such a major part of the population now, and there is like a lot of businesses going like bankrupt stuff. Thinking like, what is happening? Like, where are all these hardcore criminals that we used to see doing their stuff? It's like, I'm surprised people are this calm. Like, why is Klaus Schwab still standing there? Like, why isn't he beaten up? Why don't I see him like with his whole face beaten up by someone? Not even killed.
At least a pie in the face. I mean, a pie in the face. That's a good start. Let's get that done, and then we'll work up from there.
Oh, there was an Australian kid that threw an egg at a politician. Let's start small. We'll do the eggs, the shoes. Not even a chancla, just a plain shoe. I'm cool with that.
Well, they threw an egg at Macron too, but that was a month or two ago. But he didn't throw it very hard. It kind of bounced off his shoulder. Yeah.
That person who bitch slapped Macron, thank you. Thank you.
Macron, that little Rothschild goon.
Merci. There we go.
So why would the French vote for him, knowing their history, knowing Rothschild history of Europe? Why would you vote for Macron, knowing what he was?
Oh, the whole thing was rigged.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
they might explanation here with Biden.
I documented that. It was one of the things I think that got my Medium account banned. It was like, all the
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's like, how do these people get elected? You see these huge negatives. The money's behind them, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, 65% of people voted for him. Yay!
No, yeah. There was voting slips for who's the contenders, Le Pen. Even though her politics, whatever. The fact is that there was literally vote rigging going on, where ballots were destroyed, ballots were lost. There was one instance where on the form was reported that there was only Macron.
Yeah, but isn't like, okay, so the competition of Macron was not that impressive either, right? Because you talk about Marine Le Pen. I mean, her dad was Jean-Marie Le Pen, and like, okay, so you're dealing with Klaus Schwab, this whole Nazi guy. Well, Jean-Marie Le Pen was a Nazi collaborator, right? So if you would have like put Marine Le Pen is the daughter of a Nazi collaborator, and then you have that Mélenchon guy who is like a super communist guy. So you had three people. You had either the super commie, you have the Central European guy who believes in a European dictatorship, and a former Nazi. That's your choice. Like, that is already where it's going wrong.
Man, what
yeah.
Freedom of choice, man. See, I mean, what could be wrong?
And again, you would be called out for that, because it would be that you are associating her father with her, and they're not the same person, and all of that.
It's hurtful.
Yeah, okay. So they're not the same. They're not the same person, right? I explain like how this person gets to power then, and not someone else. And they're using the networks of their family to get to power. That's the same as Klaus Schwab. The only reason he's sitting there is because he uses the networks of his father, right? Like, we're not sitting there because we don't have like a former super powerful daddy.
Well, this is just proof that there's the people behind the scenes because, like, the Nuremberg trials and all. I mean, the obvious. Okay, so the bad guys had their Nuremberg trials. They were all strung up, but none of the people behind the scenes were. They're all still there, man. They made their money before, during, and after, and here they are again. But none of them get touched.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, I'm saying is like, okay, even though they probably rigged the election, you guys are right. Even without rigging, you would still get a bad choice. Yeah. Like, these are not the perfect choices. These are not like the choices that actually like a real community would vote for. You would probably prefer direct democracy or something over any of these people.
Well, yeah, that'd be you got all the leftist choices. So you had the dictatorship, Nazism, and communism, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, very authoritarian, very leftist. Those are your three choices, And then when you vote for it, they'll blame you. It's like, oh, well, look, you guys voted for this, You voted for one of the three shitty choices that we gave you, I mean, come on.
See, I like the Mellon Kahn, for example. Even though he was like a commie, he was against the big European Union and stuff. But the thing is, he never presented these alternatives either. So maybe he would come up with a super big commie law, which is even worse. It's like, yeah, we don't know that. It is no, like I don't think that these are the best choices, and it's the same as always. But the Europeans probably preferred Macron in because Le Pen was a nationalist, or still is a nationalist. At least she said she was. But then at the end, like shortly before the election, she was saying like, well, we no longer want to leave the EU and stuff, which was so very, very weird move. Because she would have won by running on that ticket. Definitely.
So she's like controlled opposition, right wing controlled opposition.
Yeah, well, because like in France, you're not winning with like over 51% of the votes, right? You're winning with like 25 to 30% or something of the votes, and well, close to half of the French was for leaving the EU. So if she would have run on that ticket, she would have probably won, because she would get the 40%. Means she would have a way bigger reach than any of these people. Yeah. I remember that. It was like a week or so before the election. She said like, well, maybe it's not the right moment to leave the European Union and stuff. And it was like during the whole stuff that everyone wanted to leave the European Union, the whole Frexit thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you have to start wondering, if she's controlled opposition in some way, because, when you're coming up with that big, we're the right wing, we're going to fight, we're the Republic and all this, and then you're feigning the whole fight, because by the end of it all, you realize it was all bullshit. That's when you should wonder about a candidate like that. Got a lot of them here, or how easily they get bought off. That's the worst part of it. These guys will throw a vote for like small donations to their campaigns. I mean, if you were a rich banker, they've made this easy by being such shitbags,
Yeah. Yeah, and you have the feeling that she just collaborated with them again, like her dad did or something. Yeah. Maybe it's not fair to say that, but still, I think she would not be in power if her dad would have never been in power in France. Like they use those networks, and I mean, there is 50 million French people. Like out of 50 million, why would you choose specifically that person? Like to me, that makes sense, and at the same for America always too. Like why would there be like a George Bush, and then why would his son be a president? Like you have 350 million people to choose from. Why is it them? Why is it Bill Clinton and then his wife running for president? It to me never makes sense. And yeah.
Well, that's when you have to realize that they're all tied into the House of Windsor bloodline, and then it all becomes real clear.
Yeah, you're right about that. They're all related to some fucking king or some shit from England.
John Lackland.
Yep.
Well, I mean, democracy here is all a performative facade, so.
Well, I mean, if you want proof of that too, I mean, Hillary and Trump were basically fucking cousins. I mean,
cousins.
like
Yeah.
distant cousins, but cousins.
We're all related to somebody at some point.
But not like they are, you know.
Not like that.
Yeah, not like yeah.
But
Because
technically,
if
they're
you were,
like,
you wouldn't
like
be talking to
having-
guys like me, you know.
So technically, like Bill and Hillary are keeping it in the family. That's disgusting.
Not really.
That's disgusting.
Technically, yes.
Technically,
Oh
yeah.
god. That's
But it's a bit of a stretch. Wow.
Yeah. Well, they let you have the conspiracy theory that they were all, you know, for a while a lot of them were Masons, and you thought, oh man, there's this Masonic conspiracy, which there is, but that's one of the lesser conspiracies, you know. The real one.
I was gonna say yeah, because
is
Masons are
explained
kind
it
of
all,
clueless.
you know. Yeah, a lot of them are. They're just, you know, at the lower levels, that's true of everybody. You know, it's not until you look at it and see what's really going on.
I know quite a few Masons. A lot of them aren't even really in business ventures. They're not really interested in all that other shit. Maybe the high level guys are interested in it, but not your everyday Mason.
Okay, well, you have Rotary clubs and stuff too. Like, for example, Klaus Schwab dad was a very prominent in like these Rotary clubs. Eugene Schwab. Like, I haven't been able to like find him like related to any like Masonic thing, but I do know he was like super powerful in these Rotary things. So yeah, that's there to the
Well,
posters.
Rotary Club. Yeah, Rotary Club works pretty tight with Bill Gates. They've been pushing these vaccine programs in Africa and other places for years. They had a big fuck up in India. Like 50,000 people got killed, I think. And they just swept that under the rug because it was a Rotary Club, you know.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, people in the things and Freemason is a distraction. Yeah, I think okay. So these powerful people, like they have their own places to meet, right? And they are not following like these common religions. They have their own religious cults and stuff. And I think most of the things are based on around blackmail. I think we discussed this before. They blackmail and they go up in the levels. They tell each other all their secrets and stuff, and that is how they become blackmailable. So that is a real thing. I mean, you have to do with Aleister Crowley,
Yeah.
the OTO and stuff. You have to do with Scientology too. Like all these celebrities going there, sharing all their deepest secrets.
Yeah, what's his name was Aleister Crowley's little buddy. Fucking guy wrote Dianetics. I always forget his name, but yeah, he was buddy with Aleister Crowley.
L. Ron Hubbard.
I thought you were talking about the guy Scientology because he was too.
Yeah, L. Ron
Yeah,
Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He got all of his all of those torture techniques where they lock the person in the room to teach trust.
Yeah.
He learned that from Crowley.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
It's not loyalty. It's called PTSD. There's a big difference, but not to them.
It was actually that friend of Aleister Crowley who wrote like a letter to Crowley saying that this L. Ron Hubbard is a very promising guy and everything. I saw that letter. He was like the founder of OTO. I mean, I know Aleister Crowley is like their godfather or whatever, but like that other guy, I forgot his name, who was like the founder of it. He wrote that whole letter about like promoting L. Ron Hubbard and stuff.
Yeah.
I think Crowley had more wiggle room because he was always on drugs, but L. Ron Hubbard wasn't. So it's like, whatever he did, he fucking convinced the richest people in the world to tell all their secrets so he can blackmail them and gain more power for his institution. That's smart as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to say that they're stupid, but he's obviously a smart guy. Like he also said, like the best way to become rich is to start your own religion.
Yeah, and they did.
Oh, he's right. Right.
Yeah. You guys there? Or am I just dead air?
Dead air.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
real quick.
You were supposed to cut in with the dun 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 dun. You know, they're working on fixing it right now. Everybody's
Yeah.
taking a bong hit. You know, please excuse us. You know.
Please excuse the drunk cameraman. He drank too much liquor.
Crowley, psychopathic genius in the chat, they say. Elron, a manipulative bipolar person. Yeah.
I was gonna say that, like, you know, Crowley wasn't. You know, a lot of people give Crowley into this weird fucking, make him look more powerful than he really was. I mean, a lot of what he wrote and a lot of the stuff he did. I mean, even towards the end, a lot of people make him into this bigger cult figure than he really was. Towards the end, he was a sloppy mess, always on drugs. It's true. You ever read the Diary of a Drug Addict? That was written about him.
I didn't, but I believe it.
Yeah, he was morphine and cocaine every day. So that didn't make him sloppy, but he was certainly under the influence.
Oh, you remember that Nemelka guy, right, from that Humanity Party? Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He like at some point said like, yeah, he was so fucked up that he said like, yeah, actually you should taking like heroin shots is healthier than breathing because it works on your nervous system, and humans are like based on the nervous system, so you should take heroin and stuff. Like, this guy's batshit crazy too.
Well, heroin's not necessarily. It's not necessarily very on the body. It's not very as hard as other ones. It's just very addictive. And high doses can cause respiratory death, but as far as being dangerous, I think alcohol is like the most dangerous one out there besides fentanyl.
Definitely, alcohol is really dangerous. That's why it's so common and it's not illegal.
Yeah, it'll strip your pain, it'll start a fire, and it'll also get you drunk. I mean, obviously it's safe, right?
Yeah.
You forgot. It also cleans wounds.
Yeah, it's a disinfectant. Yeah.
Yep. You don't have to drink that whole bottle. You can just dump it on your cut and.
Alcohol causes more wounds than it cleans these days.
Yeah, I remember like one of my medical classes, they asked me like, I was in college, they asked me like, what do you think is the most dangerous drug? And of course I said cocaine, right? No, they said it was actually alcohol because it causes the most violence. I never thought about that.
It's also the most readily available. It's illegal. It's legal, you know, like you can easily get it. You know, it's not illegal like everything else.
Yeah.
Well, back in the old days, you know, it used to be kind of a high-end thing to, you know, you go in a cocktail lounge. You know, drinking was, you know, kind of what you did if you were upper, you know, crust corporate or trying to climb the ladder. You know, smoking. You know, you can't do that nowadays.
Yeah, speakeasies. I remember I was in my first speakeasy in Chicago. It was still around from the 20s. And you don't see that too often anymore. And I don't think any of them are operating anymore.
Well, when your QR code doesn't work at the liquor store, you're going to be doing your own corn mash and, you know, in your igloo with your little still in your... Yeah.
How did igloos get implicated in this?
Get your moonshine together. Yeah, you got to get your moonshine together because you're not going to be able to go to the liquor store anymore with your QR code.
But why the fuck are we living in an igloo in goddamn Antarctica? Like,
hey, cuz the food at our end gonna be lit though. That's what I'm saying.
well, can't we just live in a fucking cabin or like, you know, like a tent? Even a tent. I'll take a tent over a fucking igloo.
No, we're going to have a little IKEA-styled, about 125 square foot. That's including the toilet in your shower. That's where you're going to live. It's going to be like a prison cell, you know. You know, it's no big deal. It's not going to be a problem, is it?
Well, I mean, hey, at least IKEA, right? IKEA furniture.
Well, yeah, it's better than being dead with your head chopped off. You know, that's your alternative. You know, fully salute to the state. You know, full tyranny, or we're going to kill you.
It'll
Yeah,
get
'cause
there.
retraining's not working. We send all of you to the camp. You're not learning very well. So now we got to get rid of you.
It's getting there, dude.
I'll just go to my own private island and make my own laws and rules and.
Well, you better buy it with that Bitcoin that you got now. Get ready. It's coming quick.
Going down quick too at this moment. You see.
Yeah, I mean, we're bankrupt and everything as we inflate. I mean, this is just great, man.
It's bad when the top 10 countries or top 100 country or top 10 GDP countries are experiencing 30% inflation. So that 30% inflation can equivalent to like 3,000% in, let's say, Madagascar or something like that. Like, so I can only imagine what kind of shit shows are going on. You know, this is bad. This is globally. This is bad. If the average citizen can't afford to eat anywhere in the world, it's bad.
Yeah, that's what's happening, man. And the prices have been increasing ridiculous. Like, I eat really unhealthy and just order fucking food every day. And the prices have gone up. Like, I used to spend just like $15 a day. Now I'm spending like 22, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And that's including a tip too. But I mean, still,
Yeah,
it's just.
I was at 7-Eleven. I bought 2 fucking energy drinks and a water. It cost me $12. I was like, what the fuck? You know?
Well, you see, how many mistakes did you make there? First was a convenience store because that doubled your price right there. You ain't got any stores nearby? What's the matter with you guys, man?
Well, yeah, you can't buy from, like he said, they just resell. And the price is usually doubled at like fucking 7-Eleven or one of those other markets. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a good example. 2 energy drinks, but what energy drinks did you buy?
Dude, it was like the rock stars, but I got what was it, the fucking alkaline water? And that was like fucking like $3.50. I was like, what the fuck? The fucking water? There's like 6 people behind me, so I just fucking bought it. But I was just like, I went to another 7-Eleven. Apparently, there were different prices. I thought I got ripped off, but apparently I didn't. Wasn't paying attention. I was like, what the fuck? And like, this is overnight. I've been to the same store for like a year. I don't know.
The moral of the story is, don't buy alkaline water. Buy regular water.
Well, there is some method to the madness for alkaline water being absorbed a little better than normal water, but you can do that with, various chemicals. It doesn't necessarily have to be some sort of fucking salt precursor or whatever.
You know what, Tyler? Like, you and chemicals, you're not allowed to talk about chemicals.
Oh, yeah.
You remember what happened last time you talked about fucking chemicals? Gave fucking instructions on how to build a fucking boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No chemicals for you.
Yeah. I don't know. No, a head like mine, you can get in a lot of trouble.
You go straight to the Kim Prep. It's just.
Well, I wonder. You remember that guy who like went on Twitter with a whole bunch of like strobe lights
at home,
and he was saying that he had an EMP device.
Oh yeah, Taryn. I haven't heard from him in a long time. Ever since then.
Well, I mean, you haven't heard from him in a long time. I mean,
he was so crazy. He was like, he had his
federal agencies and say like, I'm about to EMP something. I don't know what the fuck he said, but
he was getting crazy there towards the end. It was like homophobia and Islamophobia, and he started like running. Like, I was convinced he was on meth, but he said otherwise. But
he said he was abducted by aliens and they put a Commodore 64 chip in his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think my story is about a fucking dying guy who is an astronaut in military space program talking about a flying space fish swimming in space is crazy.
Space fish.
Yeah,
What?
space fish.
I mean, I'm not saying that they don't exist, but
Oh,
that'd be weird.
I've fucking seen multiple of them.
What?
They look like
Space
jellyfish.
fish?
They're translucent. They're translucent. They look like jellyfish, and they swim in space. And they've been caught on NASA live stream footages like years ago. If you look for the archive footage.
Really?
What kind
Yeah.
of jellyfish?
No, they just look like they look like a fish. It's like an angelfish. It's translucent, fully translucent. You can see inside it and everything, and see right through it. And it's just swimming like fucking right past the.
Is that kind of like Star Trek in like those multiple episodes where they have like space species that live in space?
Actually, I saw anything about that. Well, I said like basically when he first said it, I said to him, I said like so you worked on the moon, mining the moon, and I said to him, did you ever see any aliens in space? And he said, no, but I saw a space fish, and I was like, what do you mean space fish? So yeah, when he told me that, I was. It's like swimming at the space station. I was like, holy shit! Yeah, he's right.
Damn.
Space fish. I don't remember that. How come nobody can hear me?
Nah, it's just dead air.
Oh, okay. It was just that I thought I had actually lost internet connection again. Oh.
I'm just looking at pictures of space fish. I mean, I doubt any of these are what AK is talking about, but it looks dope.
It does. I mean, like, what would a space fish eat? Plasma? Ionized radiation? That's so weird to me. And it's like, I don't know.
Does it have like a? Oh, AK just left.
Did he?
Yeah, because I was about to say something about the space fish. I was about to say like, does it have its own like like metabolic or like photosynthetic or chemosynthetic process to produce energy to keep moving, or does it just float around space? But I don't know.
I mean, I guess it would be possible to like have like a life form based on silicon. It's possible. I mean, in theory. I'm trying to think like what it would use for energy. Would it just be it'd probably just be because like space is just not space. It's got stuff in there like plasma and small atomic particles. But yeah,
Dark matter.
Possible. Anything's possible.
Yep.
What did that cake out? Did he like lose electricity or something?
I don't know. There he is.
I don't know. There he is. No. Maybe not.
No, I'm back. I just
I
had
thought
to
you.
use my computer because everything fucking froze. And two things were trying to update at the same time: Telegram and some other fucking program, and it just crashed the system resources. Like they just went to zero, I guess, because I had so many windows open and fucking LibreOffice and all these other programs open.
Yeah, you have a bad habit of doing that. You once showed me how many tabs you had on your screen. It was like, I was like, "Are you serious? You're gonna run out of RAM."
No, I'm not gonna run out. Like I have 32 gigs of RAM on this laptop, but if I have certain like things all open at once, it'll start to do like cause a memory leak. I noticed that.
Right, you can watch like 32 movies on Netflix in Internet Explorer. That'll shut down your computer.
Yeah, playing them all at once. I bet it will.
Yeah.
It's a fun way, right? But yeah, I'm back, and what I was discussing before, yeah, he basically said translucent fish swimming around in space, and I was like, because I asked him, I was like, I didn't believe him at first that he like literally worked on the moon. I thought it was bullshit, and then he started talking about all these secret like old space programs that the military set up, and he said, you'll notice that they said that they ended up quitting this program, but then years later they ran another program and then said that they quit that program. And he said it was like all under, originally it was all under Reagan, to basically build this effort of a secret space program that was operated by the military. And he basically said that he was contracted for mining the moon, and I didn't believe him at first, and then just showed me everything, and I was like, okay. I thought it was a little weird at first. I asked him for like, did you take pictures or anything? And he's like, no, they confiscate everything when you go up there, blah blah blah. And he was like, back then we didn't even have phones or cameras. I mean, he's right. Timeline checks out for that. So, but apparently they had the ability to mine the moon back in the late 1980s and early 90s, which that's believable.
Yeah, it honestly is.
There's all sorts of weird questions I would ask him about, like.
Well, he's dead. He was dead.
I was gonna say because if you've been in space for that long, even with those suits, you're still getting a good dose of ionizing radiation. So, oh,
I have no idea. He told me that they literally operated machines on the moon, and I was like drilling machines, and they were drilling in the moon for what is it, lithium, and there's another fucking chemical I can't remember.
there's been some weird stuff that, like, from the astronomy, people, backyard astronomers, and I've heard of this one, and I tend to believe it's true. Have you ever heard of like a guy? Was an amateur astronomer, took a picture of the moon, and this was several different photos, was showing like an orange spot, and it was obviously there, right? And then it's never been seen. But that's not the first time that's ever been seen on the moon. Like weird lights that kind of like pop up every once in a while randomly.
Yeah.
And that we know about moonquakes. We also know about.
I can tell you now, China, Russia, and the UK, I believe, are the ones that are building on the moon. So right now, they're building on the moon in secret. Don't ask me how the fuck I know this. It just, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that. I was just trying to also like because we also have here something called like earthquake lights, which we don't exactly know what it is. Some people think it's a transformers exploding, but that happens before the earthquake, so we don't know why we see flashes of light before there's an earthquake here on Earth.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, but I mean, it could be possible. It could be just equipment. I have no idea, but obviously, it's not the first time that weird lights have been seen on the moon by amateur astronomers, and a lot of the guys aren't making it up.
No, there was an amateur astronomer that caught a whole bunch of weird-looking ships going across the sky towards the moon years ago.
Well, you do remember the whole thing in the 1940s, that happened in Los Angeles, where they discharged almost 10,000 rounds at what they thought were fucking ships flying over Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was the Battle of Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fully broadcasted. It was fully broadcasted on the radio, and they were saying there's something in the sky. It's a disc. Fire at it. Fucking open fire 1,000 rounds on it. It's still.
Isn't this how an H.G. Wells book started off? This is not going to end out well. Nope.
But you got that great picture of him, with the
coronavirus will kill all.
One at a time.
Well, the coronavirus will kill all the intelligent life anyway, so.
Go ahead, Almo.
Oh, you have that great picture, in the front page there, with the searchlights on it and everything. I mean, they were seeing something,
Yeah.
And I mean,
no, they caught it. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I've seen disinformation say that it was a Russian ship. I was like, wait, what? Russian ship? No.
Yeah, that's very 2021. That's very suspicious. Yeah.
No, it was obvious that it was some type of metallic object that was just floating there and getting shot at. The picture. I knew exactly.
It was probably just a Tic Tac, whatever those what they think are. They don't even think those things are manned at this point. I think that ufologists think that they're probes. Probably what they saw is one of those Tic Tac things.
Those things have been going around for years. They were originally called
UAPs or whatever the fuck.
No. They were originally called in World War II. They called them
Foo Fighters.
Thank you. I couldn't fucking remember what it was, man, and it was just killing me. And then in before that, in Columbus days, they called them
Damn, you got me on that one.
No, yeah, I can't remember what the hell it was called. I can't remember. Jesus. But my main point is that they've always been around through history, and it's always been the same fucking shapes, Tic Tac.
Well, even the experts were even saying the way organic life wouldn't be able to handle the G forces, even if they were bending space-time around them. They would still feel the G's. So they think that those things are not. Yeah, they
understand their technology. They never fucking will. They've been trying to understand it for years when they did a lot of these events when they were taking apart craft, like Bob Lazar said. There's other people who've said that they've taken apart craft. Bob Lazar's not the only one that said that. There's other whistleblowers that have said that as well. And there's one specific from Roswell who was I think he was a colonel. And he described the inner workings of these ships and said it was like a neural network of wires. of fiber wire inside. So, yeah, I think some of these, obviously, I think some of these are not piloted by creatures or aliens. They are artificial intelligence. Basically, they're machines. They're machines that are scoping us out. Like, and that's more scarier than fucking aliens invading. No, yeah. What if we get invaded by fucking machines?
What if they're time travelers from the future, like Skynet?
Well, I mean, there's this mix of like organic tech that's in there too. I mean, it's like, you could argue that it is in a way an invasion by another organism, kind of an electronic organic tech.
I always get scared about the guy who invents fucking Terminator, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, that's Boston Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to happen. I mean,
They've already done it. You mean gonna happen? They've already created the fucking Terminator robots for the military under Boston Dynamics.
Hey guys, what if the aliens or whatever, they don't really exist, they're actually just virtual? Because Elon Musk said we all live in like a simulation. What if they're like simulated code?
So then, what if we're simulated code?
Yeah, you too.
I've done enough LSD to know we're not simulated. Come on.
Oh no, you are. You are.
Well, that could be the argument that we are. Because
Yeah,
when you have an LSD trip, like everything goes colorful and yeah.
This universe is only a digital representation of something outside.
What if the universe is built on a blockchain?
Oh my god.
Shut up, Mark. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. The universe is not built on a blockchain. Oh, it might be in the future though. That's the scary part. See, the blockchain is great technology, but it could be used against us, just like every fucking thing else. And that's the scary thing.
But are you saying we are the first society in the entire universe that invented a blockchain? What if aliens invented a blockchain and built the universe on it? A virtual universe. A metaverse.
Luby.
No, you know why he called it meta? Because it's all about your metadata. That's what it's about. The metaverse, you know, that's a dream for later on, but right now it's your metadata.
Well, Facebook wasn't thinking when they did, oh, we're going to name ourselves Meta. Okay, well then that's perfect because you guys have been stealing metadata all this time.
Yeah, they're just open about it. Now they're finally like, well, hey, they already know, so we'll just tell them, it's like, hey, great idea. We'll just name ourselves that since you already know. We can have a chuckle about that.
I don't think that was their intention. I think their intention was to get away from all that. They failed.
So does Mark Zuckerberg really believe that there's any place he can go on the planet to run away from the Facebook, for being known for Facebook? I mean, there's no way he does. Where's he going to hide?
His mansion.
In the metaverse?
That's a good one.
Oh. That's probably what he'll call that place. What would you call it? Metaterra?
Metaterra.
And then he can do more videos of him doing that, whatever that high-tech hoverboard, surfboard he's got.
Oh, that's haptic feedback stuff. Yeah. Look, man, like some of the metaverse stuff is pretty cool, but Facebook in charge of it, not so much.
You mean like InQtel or something, right? I mean, it's not Facebook itself; it's the people behind it. The Facebook thing was like at the start it was a total DARPA project, right? It was like a live log thing. You have all these big investors jumping on it. Like I don't think it was concerned with the company Facebook, more like with the people who are behind it. But you know that better, I think, AK, who are behind that stuff.
Yes, true. I also know rumors of Facebook, and Tyler does too. As he comes back to us.
Yeah, I'm back. What about Facebook?
Oh, we were just talking about Facebook and talking about their connections to government and rumors and
Oh yeah, they're all Facebook's in cahoots with. Facebook will sell its information to anybody who has money. Really?
and openly works with the NSA. I know that for a fact. I won't
Yeah.
say I know that. I know somebody who was former NSA, used to work at the NSA, and basically said that while he was working there, saw come across the desk Facebook being requested for data, and that they agreed to it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, they do it all the time. They hand it
Cutting off there, Tyler.
over like it's nothing. Plus, they do it all the time.
So, I know personally that Facebook also worked with Myanmar, the government of Myanmar. Now, I know that the dictatorships of these countries, they don't like themselves like request like information, but they use like shell companies in the West or whatever, buy like advertising space and demand like information. Like they you have like 2200 pointers or something you can target advertisement on. And they use shell companies for it, but the money is coming from these from these awful regimes, and protesters are being arrested over it and stuff.
Well, I mean, our governments do the same thing. We just swap among the Five Eyes. If there's something an American official wants that he's not supposed to have, he just goes to somebody else and they can get it legally. And
yeah,
like Julian Assange said that they have a back door into Facebook, right? CIA and whatever. They have their own little Facebook. Like if you have like hidden groups or whatever, those aren't really hidden for them. They're hidden for normal people. They're not hidden for the CIA or whatever.
Yeah, no, like Facebook.com/white hat. That thing was a joke. They wanted you to hack Facebook and tell them how they hacked it. It was fucking a joke. You can create your own fake account and hack it, and then tell us how you did it. No.
No, there was this kid from Palestine hacked into Facebook, tried reaching them the whole time because they promised money, right? He was a poor kid, but he was a good hacker. So he hacked Facebook. Didn't get any attention, didn't get any money. So what he had to do was, he actually hacked Mark Zuckerberg's account, and he posted on his account, and that's when they got like attention for him. Because they were just ignoring him until he just actually hacked Mark Zuckerberg's account in front of everyone. He was posting from that account and was saying like, "Hey, start paying me" or something. Yeah, but still he didn't get the money, and then the hacker community, all these like famous former illegal hackers who are now all arrested and whatever, they started the fundraising and stuff, and giving him the money. They paid him the money themselves because they were so impressed with it and said like, yeah, good hackers like this, young people shouldn't be treated like this. It's just awful how they're doing it. Because this was a young guy, was obviously super smart, and coming from like the poorest region, one of the poorest regions in the world. And
they should have hired him and said, "Take care of our cybersecurity because obviously we suck."
Yeah, and this kid, like you're talking about, you can make up to like $200,000 at Facebook if you find a good exploit, right? Well, this guy was able to hack Mark Zuckerberg's profile, so that's pretty much the best exploit you can get. So he would have the 200k, which can save him and his whole family and stuff from poverty in Palestine. So yeah, that's just not how you treat these people. You just pay out. Simple. It's not like they can't afford it or something.
Oh yeah, 200 grand is like nothing to Mark.
No, that's what a decent coder gets in like 3 months there. So yeah, I know what these guys get paid. They get paid a shitload of money. Like okay, so I used to do hardware stuff in my own country, and in data centers would get like 150 to 200 euros an hour, right, for work, which pretty much the same amount a lawyer in my country makes, right? So that's what a decent tech make. Like they call you for emergencies, you can get some extra money, like 250, 300. They call you for emergencies to repair something in a data center, right? And you make a lot of money. Like you can make 2,000 bucks a day or something if you're called in constantly.
Well, $2,000 a day, that would be a good job. I mean,
that's what a decent tech gets in our country. If you're working a data center, emergencies, whatever. If a server like from an Amazon cloud or something drops in our country and they need a call-in tech and they don't have people available, they can, and you're available. They call you in, you go to it, you make 250 bucks an hour. Well, you work, you do that for 8 hours, you make 1,000 bucks. So yeah, that's just what you make, and that means like you do that 30 days a month, you make 60,000 a month, right?
Man, that's crazy. I had a recruiter hit me up the other day, and for $18.75 to fix fucking computers for HP. I started laughing at him. I said, $18.75 isn't even a living wage. What the fuck?
No, exactly. No. But that's the funny thing too. I do yearly hacking contests and stuff too, and like you have like 10-15 questions, right? And like after like question 7 or 8, you get these little buttons for job offers from like the cops and whatever. Well, sorry, but the cops, like sometimes we get accused of being like involved with the fats and stuff. But sorry, but these cops have got to pay like 3,000 bucks. I can make like 10 times that amount doing like bug hunting for some random website. Like,
yeah.
It's totally not attractive to be involved with these people. Like
yeah, for real.
They pay crap money to snitch on your friends or whatever. It's like, fuck that shit.
yeah, it's like pay for your destruction of your reputation in the hacker community. $2,000.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a few people ruin their fucking careers on HackerOne, getting buddy with the fucking government.
Like, it depends on what you're doing. Like, if they're being asked to snitch out your friends, I mean, that's obviously you shouldn't do that. But I mean, clearly, the government does need fucking hackers to go after pedophiles online, and I would wager that they need hackers to go after political pedophiles online because they are there. But the problem is, if you take a job from the government, you don't get to choose what you're doing, you know?
No, you don't. You don't have any choice. Really.
It's called selling your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. This point is like the worst thing ever. Because like in the past you would think like, okay, so you're dealing with online hunting of like pedophiles or whatever, which is good. Yeah, it's good that this is being done. At this point, like what these governments are doing now to the people, like you don't want to affiliate with any of these people. This is just so bad. They're removing everything. They're removing all the human rights of people. Like this, are you going to sell out for a few $1,000 to like these people? I would sell out for 10 million at this point to these people.
You have a number. Now we know.
Yeah.
Anybody have 10 million under their bed?
Yeah, 10 million, yeah, that's-
Can I like sell out for, I don't know, world peace?
That's too cheap. You gotta go higher.
I will wire this. You know, I will wire this 10 million to someone who will start a revolution with it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is we wouldn't even sell
Careful,
out. We would
careful.
just send the money to other places. Like, bro, I'm like, if you force me to name a price, I'm just gonna say like, okay, reparations for the entire global south.
Yeah. Is it gonna cost a
You'd
little bit more?
see people. Yeah, I was gonna say. I would say everybody who has a house would have to give back the land. Oh man, yeah, for reparations for the South, that'd be like. You remember what happened? You remember Gloria? You heard about the whole thing about Manhattan Beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that till the lawsuit came out. I didn't know that a black family owned it. All of Manhattan Beach, it was taken away from them. Just because they were black, I didn't know about that. The city doesn't even know what to do about that because the city recognizes that the government, that the city of Los Angeles had taken a black person's resort and turned it into a fucking city. I didn't know about that. And I don't even think they offered them the money, the land back. I think they were trying to offer them money to shut up.
Oh, of course they're just trying to offer money.
Yeah.
Isn't like if you put in the property value of Manhattan Beach, it'd be like $12 billion or something like that. And the properties there are insane. I think Tiger Woods has a house there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane over there.
Oh yeah, it would be in the billions for sure. But the government's only going to offer a few million.
Well, then fuck you. I'm not taking it then.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up that the government. I mean, the city of the city of Manhattan Beach, which was Los Angeles at that point, had taken a fucking a resort from a prominent black family who had a resort that was on the beach at the turn of the century. They stole it from them because they're African American. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And Manhattan Beach is popping now too.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we threw Japanese in camps in what, 1940? So 41.
Everybody forgets about that in the Oklahoma. Was it the Tulsa massacre? Everybody forgets about that one too.
Everybody forgets about Japanese internment camps so they can suck FDR's dick. It's like, oh my god, new deal.
Actually,
FDR so much. Okay.
He's the beloved FDR,
when I was a kid, my Japanese. This is weird. She was a Spanish teacher, but she was part Japanese, and she was really old when I was a kid. So she was young enough. She told me she remembered being put in one of those concentration camps in the 40s as a young child. So, I mean, that's kind of more real to me than some of the other stories about the Holocaust survivors from my grandmother. But she was dead before I was born. But I do remember a Spanish teacher talking about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's closer to home. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I grew up in like Broward County, Florida, which had a big population of former Holocaust survivors. And,
Yeah, my grandmother was one too, but you know, she was dead before I was born. So
yeah, I mean, you should really learn from these people. I mean, they're dying out.
yeah, the weird thing is my grandfather. They never talked about World War II. It was just like something you just don't talk about. Yeah,
I can get that too.
yeah.
You know, somebody else that steals land is Area 51. Over the decades, they took over a bunch of like silver and gold mines. They did one recently, like 2 or 3 years ago. Just pretty much kicked the family off, even though they knew the mine was worth, say $50 million. They offered them like $3 million and told them to get lost. They took it anyway. It's still going on. If the government wants your property, they're going to take it.
Oh yeah, they did that because of the whole that one mountain that people were looking at to observe the Area 51? Well, they bought all that land, so now they have to go further out just to see what's going on in Area 51. I don't even think you can look at a telescope and even see it anymore from any landmass that's anywhere near there.
Yeah, under the guise that they needed this land to not be observed, they've gobbled up quite a bit of, rich properties, which will be sold off later. You know how this works.
Yeah, Nevada's still filled with gold and silver. There's still some to be found.
Yeah, it's like 85 or 90% fed land out there too. It's crazy. You don't even realize it. You're like, damn, they've just sectioned off the whole state.
Do we have any other topics to talk about tonight? I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank here.
I didn't even look at news wires. You want me to look at news wires?
Well, how did the anonymous marches go? I didn't hear much about them.
I think we already
Of course, that goes back a couple weeks.
We talked about that last week or the week before.
How's Ghislaine doing? Ghislaine Maxwell doing?
Oh, Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful question.
Miss Socialite.
Miss, we have no idea what the fuck's going on with her, right?
She can't make bail because she's a flight risk.
It's true.
Yeah, all I hear is that she keeps getting denied bail, but I don't know. I'd like to see more news of that trial instead of another obvious distraction trial currently going on.
Oh, I would like to see them actually do something against her, because she is the only one alive right now that was a part of. Well, not a lot. That's not where I wanted to go with that. She's the only one alive out of Epstein. But there's probably other people behind that were behind Epstein, most definitely. But I mean, she's the one that they have in custody, and she can name names. So where are those names?
I think if she opens up her mouth, she won't make it to the next meal.
Oh yeah.
Well, you see, there used to be this thing in the FBI. It was called what is it? Protection Services.
Yeah, but if you're in prison, where are you gonna go?
I mean, it's not. I mean, we rewrite laws all the time. It's not like we couldn't put a FBI Protection Services in there. Just monitor her cell with 5 different cameras or more. Oh, the lawyers argue that's against her rights, right? No.
Well, royal pedophilia is a state secret now for the UK, so
yeah, I saw
we can't talk about that. It's just like
I saw that.
I don't understand how he's walking away with what he'd done, but like he can just what she knows can destroy the royal family 10 times over.
What he said, what the police said was just absolutely asinine. We're not going to open any more investigations on Prince Andrew. Oh, so he can go do whatever the fuck he wants?
Yeah.
And you'll never open an investigation ever again.
That's what you call royal privilege, man. I mean, the right of kings. Come on, man, get with the program. You're just a serf and a peasant. You don't get it.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you can't. That's for them, not us.
Well, I didn't want to fucking rape a child anyway, so they can be all for them.
Well, I mean, it can't, but I see what you're trying to say.
Oh, well, you just can't be a royal then, AK. You just can't do that.
Yeah, no, I guess I can't. I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm fine with just my own little island. Just leave me alone in my own little island. I'm not forming a military on the island, you know.
You don't want to be
Well,
another
that's-
Jimmy Savile?
Why don't you just create another Sealand? Just buy a tarmac in the middle of nowhere. That place.
What?
Remember Sealand, that place where they were hosting all of that illegal shit on the servers on the tarmac in the middle of the ocean?
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a territory that nobody could because it's self-governed. It basically its own legal entity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's a Sealand. It's like a little tarmac in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it's not gonna be a tarmac, but yeah.
I think they had like an online casino or something running out of it. Something like that.
Yeah. My island's gonna have the rules. If you're a pedophile, you get your head cut off. Vengeance sharks.
Oh. Okay.
All governable because it's my island. It's full anarchy, you know.
Anarchia.
Oh, there we go. Anarchia.
Yeah. Or are you going to be the only one there because you can't trust anybody and the world's gone to shit? Yeah.
I don't know. Here's something that you guys might have missed. DOJ charges Iranians who posed as pro-Trump Proud Boys. That's pretty interesting, to be honest. I mean, because that's the Iranians like trying to manipulate the Americans in some sense.
Huh?
Let's see, can we stretch that into the neocon vision of attacking them?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, sure,
Can we get
I'm sure
there?
we can. I mean, I'm sure we can, but
Where's Michael Bolton?
Bomb Iran, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I never met a war you didn't like. Now we got some scumbags in this guy, man. I mean, it's just God, man.
Yeah, on both sides, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, they infest all this, K Street, fucking think tanks,
Oh!
all this shit, man.
Oh, okay. This is pretty big news, and I did not know this happened. Apparently, today, Taiwan deployed advanced fighter jets against tensions with China. Beijing says it's set for invasion of Taiwan. Oh my god! Like, this is gonna be World War III, dude. Like, this is it. Like,
Oh yeah. I said that about the whole Taiwan thing. If the United States backs up fucking Taiwan, that's as good. This will be like World War One, the old royal dispute with World War One. Yeah, this little piece of land will turn into a big problem.
Yeah, I've been saying that too, but
Biden already said that he would deploy full military actions if they invaded Taiwan. Taiwan told America to stay the fuck out of their way. So.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, though, I don't think we'll go to war over that. I mean, we're going to give in, to their move to become a bigger power. That's what I'm predicting. We're going to talk a lot of shit, but we're not going to do nothing.
You might be right about that. You might be right.
Yeah, I think they're all like one group already at like Davos and stuff, so I doubt that it's going to get out of hand.
Hey, but let's do what they would have done in the 1950s. You know, if it does go to a nuclear war, just get under your desk. You know, duck and cover, and you'll be safe. Yeah,
You'll be safe.
remember? Yeah, I mean, you know, that was the official message, right? You know, and people
No,
believe that shit. Yeah.
I don't think that was the official message. I mean, but yeah, that's what they were basically conveying with those fucking propagandist videos. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, duck and cover, man. I mean, you know, it's a nuclear war, but you'll be all right. Oh man.
What did they justify doing that as though? Is that like for radiation? Like what is that like? I don't understand that. I never did.
Well, here's a really twisted reason. What if we have a bunch of COVID cases and they're out of control, so we have to nuke you? We can't let this get out of hand and get to the rest of the planet, so we're going to have to nuke New York City, for instance, to get this under control.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
If it does, it'll be like that movie. Like fucking, what was that movie? It was a zombie movie. What the fuck was that? It was what was that movie? It was fucking like New York City was fucking destroyed in it. Oh my god, it was a zombie movie. It was a zombie apocalypse virus. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh man, was it Kurt Douglas did a good one. Damn, what was the name of that? It's like a '90s movie.
It might be the
New
same
York.
one if it's a '90s, yeah, because this one's a '90s too. It's
They turned New York City into a prison.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was destroyed. Yeah, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't. It was a good movie though. I just can't remember what the fuck it was called. But yeah, basically that's where our reality is heading.
Yeah, I mean, we're already in lockdown. So you're using all this prison lingo, lockdowns. You know, that's a big one. That was a big clue for everybody. I think it went right over their head.
Exactly. You use words like that. Like, you have to understand what you're living in. That's like the first
Essential.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, essential, non-essential. That was another one. That's a classic divider of, you know, we're picking and choosing, you know, who gets to do what.
And the rhetoric they're using, like the types of words they're choosing for it, like those are very telling. It's like the first moment that people who like really like hate people like Alex Jones and whatever should like consider that actually that word prison planet actually kind of makes sense now.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah. I mean, I was never a fan of Alex Jones, but that's because the way he explains things is not really my way. But there's certainly a lot of stuff that they used to say that is now like becoming kind of like a reality. I listen to Bill Cooper. He kind of has a voice like you, Alamo. Bill Cooper. I used to love.
Oh yeah, he was Alex Jones before Alex Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to listen to Hours of Time stuff all the time.
Cooper was friends with Ted, and that's how Cooper even predicted that 9/11 was coming, is because Ted and Michael Arconasuto had warned Colin Powell months before about 9/11 going to be happening, and Ted took that information and gave it to William Cooper, and William Cooper went on and did what he did.
Yeah, that was what a decent podcaster or journalist does. Like he had good sources. Yeah. And amazing minds. Someone says like Bill Cooper, amazing minds. I used to love listening to him. He has like a calm voice. He explained things very well, and that is for me very important. I was very young back then too, and I learned a lot of stuff from that. There aren't too many of those really good podcasters that could explain things. Like Alex Jones is too aggressive in that sense. I can listen to him, but like a half an hour, and then it's like
it's entertainment. That's what it is. He's entertainment.
Early days, he did do some really good stuff, though. I mean, like the fingerprints for ID cards, for example. He was one of the first people who spoke out about that. Yeah, that short video you can find on like YouTube and whatever. You see him like saying like, I'm not taking the mark of the beast, putting a fingerprint for an ID card, and he was like showing all his ID cards and everything, and they were refusing him. And that was just the real wake-up call kind of video. And his 9/11 stuff was also very powerful. And yeah, he was just running around like, I know 9/11 was an inside job. He was exposing the Michael Moore stuff and everything. And, rise of the police state and all these things. I really like that stuff. But nowadays, I guess it's too much political.
Well, yeah, he really went the wrong path when he, got behind Trump. When you get in that political and that involved, now you've gone too far. When you're supposed to be a non-biased and news agency, etc. And it's really, it's been his down. I wouldn't say it's downfall, but he's lost a lot of credibility going down that route.
He knew better. But the thing is, like, he was always close with Ron Paul, etc. Like this libertarian side of of things. Maybe he assumed that Trump was one of these libertarians too, which he was not. I mean, he's pretty much a New York Democrat instead of a Republican. So yeah, he comes from the Democrat base, friends with the Clintons, everything. So whatever.
Yeah, it's incredible that the Republican Party latched onto him like they did and ran him as a Republican. I mean, they were just counting on the personality, and that's basically it. I mean, he's a New York progressive liberal. I mean, that's what he's been for his whole life. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know where they got this idea. He's just masquerading as a Republican, but
yeah, no, and then you go see the whole game with Clinton and stuff is all played out. It's like, if you're looking at it from the outside, I mean, I'm not from the United States. I'm looking at it from the outside, and I'm like, not being fed the whole time these stories like by the media, right? You wake up with something, you'll fall asleep with something. It's very clear to see like what is going on, and for people like yourself, it would be very easy to see that for our own country, right? Because you're not being flooded with all this perception manipulation, so you can very clearly see like how they're the same thing. Yeah.
no.
In Singapore, robot dogs enforce social distancing.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't make this shit up. Like, what?
No, we had protests here against the whole lockdown shit. It was like last week, and these were peaceful protesters, and then the cops sent like police dogs at these protesters, and the dogs turned around and started biting the cops. Because the police were using violence against peaceful protesters who were doing nothing wrong, and then these dogs turned around and started biting the cops. It is on this channel, actually, Revolution in the Streets channel, if you want to check it out.
Damn. Well, the dogs get confused. You see that in big protests. The dogs get confused, and they get all wound up, and they don't know what they're doing after a while. They're just biting everything.
Yeah.
Including their handlers.
Yeah, well, there was just this normal guy, and he was just doing nothing wrong. And then there was like 3 cops started surrounding him and started hitting him with their bats, batons and stuff. And then he had this big dog with a leash on it, and he wanted to make this dog attack this guy. This guy did nothing wrong, and then the dog just turned around and started biting the police officer. It was kind of funny to see that. They're really well trained against attacking the violent people.
This is insane. Man who raped 4 teenagers gets no jail time. Judge says incarceration isn't appropriate. What?
That sounds like the American justice system right there.
Yeah. A New York man was pleaded guilty to rape and sexual abuse of assaulting 4 teenage girls during parties at his parents' home, and he will not face jail time after a judge on Tuesday sentenced him to 8 years of probation. Probation from fucking what? Asshole Matthew Murphy said he agonized over the case of 20-year-old Christopher Beltier, who was accused of committing the crimes when he was 16 or 17. I mean, like, rape is rape. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, he was a minor. If he's 16 or 17.
I mean,
for all this stuff.
Yeah, but rape is rape. I mean, it's 16 or 17. You're still old enough to know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah. It's like keep your dirty little rapey fingers off people.
Basically. But
Don't be all
here's
fucked.
the kicker, guys. Here's the fucking kicker. You ready? He's from
No.
a rich and influential family.
No shit.
Privilege.
Justice, yay.
The judge said he is tremendously remorseful for what he has done.
Oh,
There are clients who've never been able to empathize with their victims as much as he has. How much counseling they receive, Chris isn't one of them.
Jesus Christ.
Well, he's like that
You
rich
know
kid in
what?
Dallas that got away with this years ago. He wiped out his car and killed a bunch of people, but he was like the kid of a judge or something. And got off and
Well, and he said he's sorry. Like, wow. I wish it were that simple. Just whenever you do something, just be remorseful, and it'll work out. For fuck's sake.
Oh, this is golden. He had previously had multiple repeated violations of probation.
hey, he's trying to get his life together, man. He said
Oh,
he's trying to get his
yeah.
life together.
Yeah, no, I can understand. I mean, you know, you only gotta rape 4 people once in your life.
You know, 99.9% of the time, he's a good guy. It's just these things happen.
It's just he can't keep it in his fucking pants, right? Right?
Yeah, it's that 0.1% of the time he's got a problem. You know, he's trying to deal with it.
Oh, here's something. Oh, this is interesting that this even came out. Everybody's absolutely horrified. High society is bracing itself for Ghislaine's Maxwell's trial. Can we find like a list of all these people who are who are absolutely horrified? Because those are the list of people that are probably guilty.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did they write that? Like, all right, it's written by Vicky Ward. I won't bash her because she's one of the ones who helped reveal Epstein. But oh,
Well, when you're a shill, I mean, you know, come on, you got to keep your job, right? I mean, it's just like taking the jab for.
I don't think she's a
your job,
shill, man. She had a bullet that was put in her mailbox or something like that. I forget what it was, but somewhere along those lines.
You know, I guess they didn't. They don't. Do they tell you, media guys? You know, when you're in college, when you're going through school, that you know, if you actually become a real journalist, you're probably going to get killed. You know, it's like, they ever tell you all that?
No, that should definitely be in the curriculum. I would advocate for that.
Yeah.
If you report and actually uncover corruption or what's the other word I would use? I don't know. You might be killed. Yeah, I would approve that to be a message for sure.
It's called elite malfeasance. That's what we'll call it.
Sure, corruption or illegal malfeasance.
Because we got to keep airs about our royal pedophilia, you know. I mean, it's state secret and all. Don't want the word getting out. Well, Prince Charles wants to put you in a climate lockdown. I mean, I think we're going to merge from the COVID lockdowns to climate lockdowns.
Oh yeah.
Climate lockdowns.
Yeah.
You
'Cause,
can't leave your home because of the climate, sir.
Yeah, we're going to address global. You know who actually has done this? Calgary, Alberta, a so-called conservative area of Canada, has declared a climate lockdown because this is a climate emergency, AK, and you know it.
No, I don't. But I do know this. One of the people who spoke to Vicky Ward said this about Ghislaine. I can't remember the last time I heard anybody say, "Poor Ghislaine. She should be allowed to say her story." I think everybody's absolutely horrified. Everybody's embarrassed that somebody in our broader circle of us could have been behaving in such a terrible way. Oh yeah, she should be allowed to tell her story. Like, what do you people smoke, drink, and fucking inject into your body to make you think that it is okay what Ghislaine did? And she should have a right to tell her story. What, like...
You smoke a strain called Elite Bullshit, man. It's the most powerful crap you could ever imagine, dude. Just fucking... If you get a whiff of that, you're sucked. Because it's not fair. I mean, come on, you know, you're rich, you want to be powerful, you know, you're criminals in your own right, you know, you should be able to get away with that.
Oh, I love this quote.
This is America.
I love this quote. The idea that Ghislaine was some sort of person who'd be bothered to visit working class areas to pick up vulnerable girls doesn't gel well with me for the person I knew and worked for. Ghislaine had far too high regard for herself. She'd have had time for shopping on Worth Avenue, yes, not wandering around West Palm where many of Epstein's Florida victims lived. That would have been beneath her.
So, the argument against her being involved in sex trafficking was that I just can't. No,
I just can't see her doing it, man.
Nah, Mom, I can't right now. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly how I felt.
She's not that kind of girl. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly what fucking somebody said. Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, I mean, she's going to go to court. I mean, there is evidence. She's going to have her day in court, so-called day in court, and she can lay out her story there if she chooses to. I'm sure her lawyers are going to keep her off the stand, but, you know, I mean, if she wants to tell her story, she's going to get her chance. So all this drama about not being able to tell her story is just a bunch of bullshit.
One of the lawyers said, one of the lawyers against Ghislaine for the victim said, I think it would be a miscarriage of justice if other co-conspirators were not called to account and indicted, saying that he expects more indictments that have not yet happened. Man, he must have some fucking hopium for the justice system.
Yeah. Because we're better than that. Oh, man.
Okay, I still have that.
Oh, I'm still reading here to grab your most important points.
Okay.
Oh, hey, now going back to Trump. Trump was the cover. You got to remember that at the time, Trump was the cover for the Clintons. The big investigation and all their hoopla was going on back then, and he was going to lock her up. Remember all that? And, you know, he's Mr. Tough Guy, going to go after the Clintons. And then nothing. Because he was just the cover.
Oh, I love this quote. Essentially, we are about to watch the trial of Jeffrey Epstein, except only Ghislaine is taking his place. This is about him. He's dead, so she's got to pay the price that he should have paid for justice to be perceived to have been done. Adding, and by the way, I didn't even like her. What?
What the hell is that? That's some kind of weird, twisted cover for her, but I mean...
Yeah, so Ghislaine is somehow not guilty? She's just cover for Epstein? What?
I don't know what fucking crack these guys smoke. I have no idea.
Jesus.
I'm just reading the frickin' news. That's. I just can't believe that. Like, what? What in the? What? Oh, here's another one. Dad of Disney star Peyton Clark and influencer Acacia Kersey accused of grooming underage girls.
Wasn't that what they used to call it? Oh, that's kind of what the Mickey Mouse Club turned into. You know, I mean, you could think of the Mickey Mouse Club like back in the 1950s, how wholesome and everything it was. I mean, it was, you know, like a true little kids club. And now look at it, you know, you go over to Disney to go do your pedophile grooming. You know, it's come a long way.
Well, he was a child photography person, and he's also the father of Disney actor Peyton Clark and an influencer, Acacia Kersey. I don't even know who these two girls or women are. But apparently Rich Clark, who is 52 years old, has been accused of predatory behavior. And he said that how he would encourage they said that how he would encourage young girls to pose provocatively for him by convincing them that sex sells and justifying his love for 14-year-olds. Yeah. And he told somebody in a message that it's okay to think it, I'm just not supposed to act on it. I can think it all I want. Like, what?
Oh yeah, and he's right, and you're not supposed to, but you did. See, that's the problem. You know. Oh man. They're just
Apparently,
normalizing it everywhere.
Ghislaine Maxwell was in higher spirits with the jury selection in her trial. They say Ghislaine Maxwell appeared to be in noticeably high spirits this week when she returned to court for jury selection for her sex trafficking trial.
Yeah, they're gonna somehow give her a slap in the wrist. They have to. She has too much dirt on everybody.
The British socialite was in high spirits and blew air kisses to her sister, a marked difference from her last disheveled appearance in court. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as she's an elite socialite, that makes it okay. Other elite socialites need to hear
How about
that.
we stop with this? How about we stop with this elite socialite bullshit and write Ghislaine Maxwell, the pedophile.
I'm down.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is.
Or accused high society pedophile. We need the word pedophile there. I'm fine with. You can use the word socialite. That's fine. But pedophile.
Nods.
I know why they don't do it. They don't do it because of legal issues, but they should.
You should just say like disgusting pedophile and socialite.
Pedophile and alleged socialite.
Or you combine it all and say alleged high socialite pedophile Ghislaine Maxwell, because then you use the word alleged. So legal can't get you for it.
Hey, so in the chat, someone says Ghislaine was rounding up teen girls for her master. But we were discussing before that I think Ghislaine had several others also getting like girls from her. That's why she is alive and Epstein is dead.
Well, she participated too.
Yeah, I'm saying that she has more customers.
Oh yeah, she definitely does.
Yeah,
and
Epstein is just
and she, according to the butler who leaked the Black Book, Ghislaine was the head of those operations, but there was somebody above Ghislaine. And Ghislaine was reporting back to somebody else.
Yeah, I think the Epstein is probably just like a networking guy with like the politicians and whatever. He's not like the highest up guy.
Well, where are these people getting all their money? I mean, they were getting money from royals, kickbacks. I mean, it's not like they had a job.
Investments.
Their job was to run this
investments
pedophile island.
flip money like easy, like ridiculous.
And you're living in some mansion and you don't have a job. How can you even pay the taxes? Much less own the place.
Well, taxes can be offset.
And then the prince stays there and little girls come and go, but there's nothing to be seen here.
I'm gonna pay that tax guy with teen girls, right? Isn't that what they do?
Could.
Government by and for the rich. It's a plutocracy.
So Mrs. Ghislaine's money came from what her daddy stole. Her daddy was like a big media guy in like the UK or whatever, right?
Yeah, but he got killed on his boat. And didn't they think it was a Mossad job or something? He got sideways with the Mossad. And
Yeah, well, first he was Israel's super spy. Then he got killed by them. But he had a big state funeral.
Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed that big state funeral.
well, your daughter gets to become what we call it, a high society pedophile. Is that one? She had a good life, man. She's running around having a good time. I want to say she was tight with Trump's first wife, too. Wink, wink.
Why first wife?
Hey, why not? I mean, come on. You got to be plugged into the team. Keep all this going. I mean,
Also with that other wife, what is it, Melania? He was also connected in that network.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, there's a picture of them, but that he's not the first wife. I didn't see a picture of her with the first wife. Have you?
No, I do remember Melania. She was drunk in that picture. Okay.
well, Melania is the Eastern European version of the same system we're talking about here. It's the European side of it, but
I've
hey,
heard
she did
that.
good, man.
I've heard
Married the
that.
president.
Yeah, I have actually heard that Trump's wife was like a model that came over that was like brought over to the U.S. and yeah, and he does admit that he met her through a modeling agency. So yeah, and it's not surprising. But I don't know about the first wife and Ghislaine. That's where I'm just like interested.
Ivana Trump went everywhere with Ghislaine Maxwell, Maria Farmer said. They were very, very good friends. Ivana was her best friend. That was creepy. Someone named Maria Farmer speaks out about Maxwell, Epstein, and Trump. Ivana Trump recruiting schoolgirls for Epstein with Ghislaine on Reddit. Okay. Remember what Maria Farmer victim said? Ivana Trump drove around with Ghislaine Maxwell hunting children in the streets of New York. Apparently a new documentary exposes Ghislaine Maxwell. So yeah, definitely some stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just taking it from Google, right? So yeah. not reading through it, but I mean, you can just type in Ivana Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, Maria Farmer. So not Ivanka Trump. You have to do Ivana Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, Maria Farmer. You find like a lot of stuff about it. To do a little reading into it, though, I'm not sure how correct everything is.
That's the issue too. Is the information credible, or is it just like, because I know like the Maria Farmer story, that there's actually documents to back that up. That took place, and there's happened in Boston, I think it was, right? Nobody.
No, I'm aware on that one.
Well, there was a case in the 1990s, I believe it was, about Epstein and Trump raping Maria Farmer.
Oh, okay.
And threatening her.
Yeah, I mean, there was some. Well, didn't Trump get out of some trouble by essentially turning state on the rest of them? He gave up some info and essentially worked for the feds after that. I mean, it was hard to tell exactly where he was coming from after that point.
To the casino stuff. It was all the casino stuff. He worked as an informant for money laundering at casinos. Yeah.
Well, they've said that about his other real estate dealings. You know, he sells apartments to these guys, you know, a Russian mafia or whatever, you know, for all this money, and you know, it's just another way to launder money. And how do you bankrupt a casino anyway? I mean, how bad a businessman are you, and you fuck up a casino?
That's a good question, because, I mean, literally, a fucking casino is where you're getting the most possible fucking money.
Yeah, and it made money. Yeah, his whole deal lost money because, you know, it's Donald Trump. He's got an expensive lifestyle. But the casino made money. But, hey, QAnon says he's a great businessman, so he's a great businessman. He never went bankrupt 5 times. You know, that's a conspiracy theory.
Nah, that's a part of the plan.
That's a part of the plan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Part of his plan, you know, for himself. Trust the plan.
Man, that's pretty funny. And if you look into the stuff of him working with the feds and working to go after money launderers with these casinos, I think it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
I got entertained by it.
Well, he's going to run again, looks like, in 2024, so whatever, man. Get ready for another bullshit of an election, you know.
Fucking save us.
And I don't know, you know, can they keep Biden going till then? Can they animate his corpse if he does die? You know, because you can't run Kamala. I mean, you know, she's another cackling weirdo like Hillary and the rest of them. You know. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She's good in the sense that she'll do whatever she's told, and that's why she's there, but... Orange man bad. Got to keep the divide going.
I think the one actually worked on people. Saying like Orange Man bad. They actually thought he was bad. It's like, I think it actually convinced a few people who actually thought he was not so bad to actually think he was bad because people said Orange Man bad. Like, I think all of these I think they're all bad. I'm not like here to defend him. I already thought he was bad before they said Orange Man bad, but I think there's like really some people who got convinced by that. Kind of like Osama 9/11, Bin Laden, Osama 9/11, Saddam Hussein, Iraq, Bin Laden 9/11, terrorist.
Well, it was kind of a joke at first, Orange Man bad, but actually, when he became, the lockdowns and Operation Warp Speed and all that, well, he actually was Orange Man bad.
He actually looked orange
Except
too.
that all got twisted with his supporters and named, oh, Donald Trump, look how much he's doing for us. Oh, trust the plan. It's 4D chess, I guess we're into 5D chess now. I mean, yeah, can you be playing just 4D chess if you lose an election to still be in the game and doing stuff behind the scenes? I mean, that's 5D chess to me. You're still in control, but you're not there. It's all CGI of some, Halo episode, I guess. I don't know what the hell to call it.
They're just way ahead of us. But they're not okay. So they're now planning that whole 10-year plan up to 2030. And it actually, phase 2 starts 20 years after phase 1 started in 2001, right? And it's like, and they start this whole plan, and then there's this 10-year plan till 2030, and then in 2030 they start like a next phase thing, and it's like they're doing it so well planned out and all like calculated that they're just pushing it in our face, and there's like nothing we can do about it. It's like literally there's millions and millions of people protesting in the street. If you're thinking worldwide, there's a million mass march. Well, there have been marches where there are 10 or 20 million people in the streets worldwide. I think there are a lot more even. I think this Saturday there's going to be tens of millions of people in the streets at the same time, and there is nothing changing. Like,
no, and I mean that's a big clue. It's like, okay, despite the fact that you have millions of people in the street, and we're openly doing it in your face, you still won't do what needs to get done. That's how they know they got you.
yeah, well, I spoke to a few of these people. I said like, you guys need to stop hugging. You need to stop hugging fascists. It's okay to stay peaceful, but you don't have to always say like, hug everyone, hug the fascists. That's what people did in my country when the Germans conquered our country. They hugged the fascists until the actual opposition was gone. It was slowly removed, and only the huggers remained. And the huggers were the same people who put the Jews on the trains. So fuck off with that shit. Stop hugging these fascists. You can stay peaceful, but you don't have to hug them. It's like, it's so fucked up. Like they're all like spreading only these hearts and stuff. Nice, all love and things. But at some point you have to just say like, you can. This is where it ends now. Simple.
Well, that's kind of the Christian response, or like a church response. You have to love your enemy and turn the other cheek and all that. But
it's funny, but
this enemy work. I mean,
yeah, the enemy really doesn't care about you hugging them, right? Like, okay, hug me some more. Like, I'll kill another million of you guys.
I mean, Jesus wasn't no punk ass either. Like,
well, there's those two sides though, and see people. I mean, they will more than relate to the turn your cheek and the soft side of Jesus, but they pretty much won't relate to the sell your cloak and buy the sword type Jesus. That's where they run into problems, or the whipping the money changers. They it's violent. We can't do that. Well, it's all part of the same story, but see, you'll do half of it, but you won't do the other half because you don't know the fucking difference, and you're too big a coward. That's why. So how can millions of people be protesting and you don't get anywhere?
Well, ironically, Jesus was actually against religion, and people don't know that. And but the man who is known as Jesus was actually against organized religion.
Yeah. You did it. Yeah.
Oh, I know it's true, but like, it's just so ironic that he was turned into an organized religion.
Yeah, the biggest one in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it served a purpose,
It served its purpose, but it's just funny because he was against religion, and he was fighting against the Roman Empire. I think it was, right? The Roman Empire?
Yeah, back then was the original Roman Empire, and later became the Holy Roman Empire. The Catholic Church adopted him as their religion.
Yep.
But only because Constantine switched from the multi-gods concept to the one god concept, because Jesus was so successful. Yeah.
But he was actually against religion, and he was against government. Like, true facts, those two. And everyone seems to not realize that those are universal truths, and they are. And
that's the political tactic of co-opting a message. That's a classic. Okay, it took them, at that time, hundreds of years to get it done, but that's how you take something that's somehow caught on with the masses and the population and twist it to your needs of control, and we're now in charge. Now that we see
really
what's going
ironic
on,
that he was turned into a religion when he was fully against religion. He was fully against government, and then they turned him into a religion. Like, oh man.
Yeah, and you rewrite a new script and all this. It's just like, but it's all part of the same scheme.
Well, this is not new. Like the Romans used to do this, and like the Romans also, with the areas they conquered, they usually built their churches on all the sites which were already considered holy by the local tribes, because it was very much easier to adopt the local religion. Like when they conquered Greece, they adopted the gods as their own, for example. Like those Greek gods.
I just saw the time, and I have to go. I have to be up like early tomorrow.
No, we can end this anyway. It's like super late.
Yeah. I just looked at the time, and I was like, wait, what? No way, that's fucking real. Jesus.
Having too much fun.
I will give it a PSA, but we can do more broadcasts though. I mean, other days, but it depends on you guys when you guys have time.
At this point,
Make sure to spam neuter your politicians and lobbyists and bankers and military contractors and royalty.
Okay, you hit everyone.
Dun, 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 dun,
Fade out.